Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to TCF Live. My name is Dan Soul. I will guide you through our 3-hour journey through Courtlandia. We'll get started in Michigan. Magistrate Chisholm.
It's one expired plates, one no proof of insurance, and the other is using a mobile device. As to insurance, was your vehicle insured on the day you got the ticket?
No, it was not, Your Honor. I got my insurance and my license and my tags like 2 or 3 days after I got pulled over. And I was on my phone, I was on maps, going back to my house after going on a date with my girlfriend.
So you were holding the electronic device while you were operating the vehicle?
That's correct, yes.
So Keikos, is there anything you want to add to any of these matters?
Did he get those plates updated, Your Honor?
He said he did.
Yes.
Okay.
And my insurance.
You have the registrations?
Do I have them right now? Yeah, but I think they're in my car. I can't show you on camera, but if you look at my, I don't know if there's a way for you to look at my information, but everything should be updated, yes.
Everything should be updated, yes. That's why we're here. Why don't you go to the car and get the registration, and you can get the proof of insurance at the same time.
Yeah, I got you.
Put them back in the waiting room and do number next. Is Sergeant DeSano there with you?
Yes, Your Honor, right here.
He's got Mr. Otero. This is citation 26R01667. Mr. Otero, can you unmute yourself and turn on your camera, please? Mr. Otero, if you turn on your camera, you could show us the registration.
My camera not on. Oh, sorry. Let me go ahead and turn on my camera. I didn't realize it was off. Okay.
Do you have the updated registration?
Yeah, I do. Let's see. I have this right here, and then I should.
There's a date where your finger is
Uh-oh.
easy to see. Right at the bottom, there's a date.
Bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah,
If you'd read the first 8
bottom
digits.
left hand.
First
Yeah.
8 digits, please.
Your Honor, it says 327.
First 8 digit.
First 8 digits, yes, please read that.
All right. On
The bottom left-hand corner, sir.
Yeah, the first 8 digits. Trying to see. I mean, it says 03/27/2026.
Gotcha. Thank you. Is there anything you want to add to this, officer?
Motion to dismiss, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Otero, you are good to go. The ticket is dismissed thanks to the sergeant's motion.
Oh,
Thank you.
all right. Thank you.
You have one more. And that's okay, we've got Mr. Gonzalez. Okay, I don't see your other ticket here yet, Sergeant.
Which one is that? I have 2 more on my end. I don't know if the other one already took care of it or not.
Oh, yeah, I do see the third one now. One is Mojica,
Okay.
M-O-J-I-K, and the other is Idle.
Okay.
And we've got Idle. Break down Mr. Gonzalez, we have Ms. Bell. I admitted her a while ago. Not admitted. Ms. Bell, you're going to have the opportunity to consult privately with Attorney Gonzalez before the arraignment. You'll see on your screen an invitation to join breakout room 1. If you would join the breakout room, you'll be speaking with the attorney privately. The court will not be a party to the conversation.
Your Honor, is she assigned or a walk-in?
She's a 10:30.
Okay.
So the last shall be first. We got Mr. Terrell back.
Hello. So I have the registration right here, and the insurance is electronic, so my dad's trying to find it. He sent it to me on text, and then I updated my
Would you
license.
read the bottom, in the bottom left-hand corner, would you read the first 8 digits, please?
Yeah, the bottom left-hand corner. It says my address, and then it says
The bottom left-hand corner,
renewal. This is,
not the insurance document, the registration.
yeah, my dad's trying to find it. It's a electronic. Dad, you find it yet?
The registration is paper. The insurance can be electronic. What do you have in your hand?
Right, registration.
Okay, at the bottom left-hand corner, there's a long series of numbers. If you would read the first 8 of them, please.
Yeah, 0, 2, 2, 4, 2, 0, 2, 6.
Gotcha. That's February 24th. Okay, so the plates were expired when you got the ticket, but you renewed them a couple days later.
Yes, that's correct. I have the
Officer
new
Jacobs,
stuff.
do you have anything you want to add to any of these?
Yes, Your Honor, motion to dismiss the expired plates, and then whatever the court assessed the fines for the no proof insurance. And then the mobile device, I'll amend that to impeding traffic.
Okay, Mr. Terrell, as to the mobile device, the fine is $175.
Okay.
So the officer's motion saved you $50. The expired plate ticket is dismissed pursuant to the officer's motion. And the no proof of insurance is $175. That's a different statute than the registration.
Okay.
So you got 175, 175 is $350. That can be paid online by mail, or if you choose, you can bring it into the courthouse and pay it at the counter. It works for you.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Ron.
Thank you.
All right, good morning once again, everybody. It's TCF Live on a Wednesday. Ashley asked in the chat if she could fill out the public satisfaction survey that's behind all of these Michigan judges. Yes, you can, because I tried it yesterday, and it is not region restricted or anybody restricted, to be honest with you. So yes, you can. We always try to be instructive here at TCF. Look at the X. That is a bottom left-hand corner. So please feel free to clip this and share that out there on the interwebs, because it's obvious that many could benefit from understanding what a bottom left-hand corner is. All right, let's have fun today. Let's do this. Let's go to Lake County, Ohio, and we'll say good morning to Judge O'Donnell.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're here on the state of Ohio versus Catherine Harris, case number 26-CR167. The defendant is present with counsel Jim Matthews. We were last here on April 8th, 2026, where the defendant pled guilty to Amended count 1 of the indictment, attempted illegal conveyance of drugs of abuse onto the grounds of a specified governmental facility, a felony of the 4th degree with a forfeiture specification. Count 2, possession of cocaine, a felony of the 5th degree. Count 6, tampering with records, amended to include the dates August 5th, 2025 through August 12th, 2025, as well as the initial dates. And amended count 7, identity fraud, a felony of the 5th degree, also amended to include the dates August 5th, 2025 through August 12th, 2025, in addition to the initial dates, and we are here today for sentencing.
Thank you, Mr. Matthews.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Harris is requesting to be placed on community control. As the court is aware, she is currently on community control in Cuyahoga County. Initially, the plan in Cuyahoga County was for her to attend the CBCF, but unfortunately, due to her medical issues, she was denied entry. We are hopeful that the court will place her on community control here. Perhaps she could even be supervised by Cuyahoga County, as that's more where she resides. She does have a number of concerns regarding her medical issues. She has experienced a couple of blood sugar drops in the jail, indicated that she was becoming very dizzy, sweating. She does have a number of medical appointments that she needs to get to, and is hoping that the court will fashion a sentence, Your Honor, that allows her to continue with her medical treatment with her existing team of doctors and maintain some sort of regulation over all of those issues on the outside. And she has a pacemaker. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Harris, what do you want to tell me before I sentence you?
I would like to apologize to the courts. I hold full responsibility for my actions.
What actions are you taking responsibility for?
The charges that was brought upon me.
All right. Well, you indicate in this pre-sentence report that you really didn't do anything, that you didn't know anything about those drugs that were taken into the jail beyond the blood pressure medication, that you had permission to have your sister's cards, that you
Those were my cards.
and so you didn't really do anything wrong. So what is it you're taking responsibility for?
Your Honor, those were my cards. I do.
Do they have your sister's name on them?
No, they had my name on them, Catherine Harris. I just used my sister's name when I was spoken to at Walmart. As far as the drugs, Your Honor, that was my propofol. I take that for my high blood pressure.
That was in that purse, right?
Yes.
That you said belonged to your sister, right?
My blood pressure pill was in a bag.
Right. In the purse.
Ziploc bag. Yeah, I put it in the side of the purse because I got the purse out because I didn't want nobody to just look in there think money was in there. And I think it was a piece of pipe, like they say cocaine residue was on it, like a piece of glass from a pipe. I don't do drugs, Your Honor.
All right. Before you put the blood pressure medication in the purse, where did you have it?
In my pocket.
Okay, why did you take it out of your pocket?
Because when I got out to use the bathroom to go in, when I sat down on the toilet, you know, I didn't want it to fall out, so I just stuck it like on the side of the pocket purse.
Right.
Yeah.
So who was it that you went to Walmart with that day?
It was my sister.
What sister? What's her name?
Alexandra and her boyfriend. Yeah, and I stayed in the car because I wasn't feeling good, and I was just asking them what was taking so long, and they was like, well, we done.
Where is Cassandra now?
She's in Alabama.
What was she doing at Walmart that day?
Well, they came up here to visit. They was relative had a funeral. They came to visit. I had a previous incident with that store. I don't even go in there, but they was taking too long, and then the officer said that the lady said that I had to show receipts, and I kept calling them and nobody answered. And they left me and they said, we need the bags, and I gave it back to them. I didn't want no problem.
Why did they give you the bags to take?
When I
those
came
bags?
in the store, I met them to see what was taking them so long, and they had their buggy with the bag. So they was like, we done, we got to go back and get something else.
Where did they go?
They said they had to get some school supplies, so I took the bags onto the car. And when I went back to the store, see, the officer was coming towards me, and he said, the young lady said, I didn't have a receipt, but I had spoke to the officer and was talking to the officer on my way out, and he was like, we need the bags. I said, sure. And I gave it to him. I'm like, they need to call them, told them they needed the receipt, and nobody answered. And the security lady said, your ride has left you. They left me.
Where'd they go?
They left me at the store. Where they went, I don't know. After that, they just left me at the store. Yeah.
You ever done this before? Used Cassandra's name?
Once, but I did it because I was pretty mad, Your Honor. I'm not gonna lie, I was mad because I felt like I was a fall guy in this. I know people do a lot of things. I have done a lot of things in my life, and I got my life. I turned it around and.
So had you ever done that before? Used her name?
Use Cassandra's name?
Yeah.
I think so.
You think so, or you did?
I don't. Yeah, Cassandra, I used her name. Yeah.
Right. Why did you use her name this time?
I just thought they wanted to talk to me,
Who?
about the people at Walmart.
Okay, but why did you?
Oh, because they left me and put me in, they set me up for that. They left me. They went answer the phone and bring their receipt. I know.
I'm trying to figure out why you pled guilty if you didn't do anything wrong.
Because I felt like that was the way that I can get my case over. Listening to my attorney, he said that's the best thing for me to do. That's what Mr. Matthews.
Well, if you had done these things, that was a pretty good result, pretty good resolution of the case. If you had done these things, problem is, you're insisting you didn't do these things.
No, I was, but I don't know how to put it.
Huh?
I don't know how to put it. Yes, I did push that buggy out that store. I sure did. But when they said they needed a receipt and I didn't go in there and get anything, I gave them their bags back because.
Where were you living between the summer of '09 and the summer of '23?
09 and 23.
Yeah.
Back and forth from Alabama to Cleveland. The 2023, I was here in Ohio.
Right. You were in Willoughby Court for a theft.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What did you do on that? What was that theft?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I had a problem with that once before. That's why I didn't go in that store.
I know. What you stole from Walmart?
We went through the checkout line.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and a couple things that we didn't pay for.
Who's we?
Some friends that I used to hang with that I don't see anymore,
What about this robbery and drug possession in Cuyahoga County that you're on probation for? What happened there?
I gamble a lot. That's my problem. And I never robbed nobody, Your Honor. They had it, the CMHH police put it like a robbery. Somebody said I took $40 from this lady, and there's a lot of people I help out when I got it. And some, when I don't give it to them, they do a lot of things to me. Just like over here in this jail. I've been through so much in this jail till I feel like you can just sentence me to death. That's just how I feel right now.
So why did they charge you with robbery? Why did you plead? Did you plead guilty in that case?
I don't
Or did
know.
you go to trial?
I didn't go to trial, no.
So you pled guilty to robbery?
Yes, I did. That's how I was trying to get it over with.
So what happened? What was the robbery?
The girl owed me $20, and she was hesitating to give it to me, and my Uber ride was waiting for me. As I sort of like got, as she was trying to give me the money, I was like, hurry up. So I got the wallet and got my own $20. And I see on there they said 40, but it was 20. And then I left with her boyfriend. They do drugs. The boyfriend or the nephew, whatever, pushed her up to say that. I'm in the apartment gambling, and I'm outside talking to CMHH police that they robbing me while I'm in there, But no, it was, I ain't that bad. No.
What was the drug possession? What did you have?
It was a garbage. It was some garbage that they looked through the, I don't know what it was. I didn't even see it. It was
Whose
a lot of,
apartment was it?
it was, my friend's boyfriend.
What? So you didn't do anything on that?
I'm talking about the what now?
Well, you were, from what I can tell, you pled guilty to robbery and drug possession in Cuyahoga County.
Yes.
Okay. So what you're telling me is you didn't commit the robbery and you didn't have any drugs. That it was in the garbage can in the apartment that wasn't yours.
It wasn't in the garbage can. It was like when they cleaned the table off in a small,
Why did they charge you with that?
because when they came in, I had the garbage in my hand. You know, we cleaned the table off to get the table clean to play cards. And they picked the bag up and started looking. It was, I don't know what was in it, but they said it was drugs. And like I said, listening to my attorney, I wanted to do a trial, but they said it would be bringing them in, you know. Listening to attorneys, just wanted it over with. My life is not like that.
Well, it looks like it's like that for the last few years.
I mean, I could say I've had a little bumps and bruises the last few years because my kids got grown, moved out, had too much free time, and started going back to the old crowd, and, you know, and...
Was there Ms. Canals, was there a victim impact statement received from Cassandra?
There was not, Your Honor. She did call me.
Did you speak with her?
I did.
What did she tell you?
She asked if she had to complete the statement, and I told her she did not, and then she told me that her sister does this all the time, and she wishes we would stop her.
My sister didn't tell me that. She told me that two guys was trying to get her to press charges on me, and she didn't want to. And that
What two guys?
I don't know who she spoke to, but she told me that they kept calling her and saying.
Well, they didn't press charge. She didn't press charges on you. The police arrested you and charged you.
I know. She said that they was calling her to press charges on me, getting her to press charge on me. And she said she told them no, she didn't want to do that.
Okay.
When they sent her the package and stuff.
What?
She said they sent her a package.
When did you talk to her?
I talk to my sister all the time.
Did you? How did they discover that you were actually Catherine Harris instead of Cassandra? Do you know?
I don't know.
Well, did Cassandra call you, or did you call Cassandra when you were in the Cuyahoga County Jail?
No.
What are one of the names Cassandra goes by?
Dee.
What else?
Jacqueline.
Is it Lele?
No, I'm Lele.
You're Lele. I get confused. I get confused because you're Catherine, right?
I'm
You're
Catherine.
not Cassandra. Okay. Okay. So that's how they figured out you weren't Cassandra.
Yeah.
Okay. So you say you think you might have done this once before.
I used my sister Cassandra's name.
Okay.
Well, I apologize. Like I said, I went towards the wrong direction. I've been doing so good in my life, especially when I found out I had this heart trouble and stuff. Like I said, I was just angry.
Why are you causing such a ruckus in the jail all the time?
See, that's what I'm about to get to. I'm not causing ruckus in the jail, Your Honor. I'm a peacemaker. I don't care what my background show. I'm a peacemaker. You got people in jail, we got to live together because we all housed together. You got some people in a group that want to take control over TVs, tablets, and when I get to saying stuff like share, they get mad and secret kite me.
Well, I mean, there's simple things that you just won't comply with.
What is that? I comply with any and everything.
Mark,
I give them the utmost respect.
March 6th, you were charged with you were locked down for 23 hours because you weren't ready for the head count.
I had just got to jail and I didn't know how it went.
Okay.
You notice every time I'm locked down, it's about Anderson. I mean, for nothing. I don't even, Sergeant C.O. Anderson, I don't even know why I be getting moved from different cells. People do different, you got inmates, jail, you surrounded by different type of people.
I know, but you got 1, 2, 3, 4,
Seven.
5, 6 different things on here.
Right, and that tablets, TV, the sergeant.
Usually if I have a sentencing and there's 1, that's unusual. You got 6.
It's not my fault, Your Honor.
I know nothing's your fault.
Yeah, I mean, it's my, only, sir, when I talk biblical to people like get along and let's share, we gotta live together, these people get mad and then they write secret
Well, then
kites
quit
at night.
talking to them about the stuff. If they don't
Because
wanna
we-
hear
okay.
it, why are you talking to them about it?
Because you got black and white. That's simple. Black and white. Let me just say it then. It's we got black people and we got white people in the jail. The white people want control over everything. They want power over everything. And when I speak up for us, you know, let us watch TV. Let us watch what we want to watch. Let us use the tablet. When they get up in the morning time, they grab 2 and 3 tablets for their friends. We don't have a tablet. You know, they say we all agree to watch a TV program. We can't watch TV. You know, it's not like I'm taking it a racial thing or that, but it's always about them. You know, we have other inmates in jail. Let us do something. Let's all come together, you know, and get an understanding of who can watch what, who can do this. Kite, like Sergeant said, it's stupid. You know, Sergeant, whatever he said, it's only about TVs and tablets, and, you know, I can't just, these are young kids, you know, they group up. They in a group. They want to table all night with voices echoing, you know, and I don't want to look at it like it's a racial thing, but let me say this here. I've been through hell in that jail for no reason. I've been through hell in that jail for people writing kites on me, by me respecting them, telling them words of encouragement.
What did you, what was the drug that you had, that you were charged with the conveyance with?
Okay, it was a piece of glass pipe.
What else? Was there anything else?
It was a they said a Suboxone strip.
All right, where was that located?
The Suboxone strip was in between my credit cards, in between my cards.
In the shoe?
In my shoe. Those was
What was
I
it?
had no purse. It was my business was in there because I had just left the hospital and I had all my stuff in my shoe. And like I said,
Where'd you get the Suboxone from?
I got it. I think it from a guy just being around people saying, "Let me get one of them." You
For
know?
what?
Huh?
For what? Why would he give you a Suboxone?
I don't know. People take Suboxone, I think, and I was
Why
on
do
because
they
I be
take-
around a lot of white girls that do heroin, and I would have probably gave it to them. I don't do drugs, Your Honor.
Well, if you don't do drugs, what are you doing with drugs?
I didn't have but my pill and that Suboxone, that
Right,
little.
Suboxone's a drug that you didn't, that you just can't, you can't have Suboxone unless it's prescribed.
Like I
What?
said, I be around people that do these, and I
Well,
have.
why would you, if somebody gives you a, how did you know it was Suboxone?
How did I know what it was?
Yeah.
Because all the people that I be around, they do
Why
heroin.
are you, if you don't do drugs, why are you hanging around people who do drugs?
They be in the vicinity where we be at gambling, in the high rise,
Where?
on Wade Park.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I play a lot of poker and ton.
So if,
But
if
with
you
my
don't,
condition, I don't-
if you don't do drugs and somebody gives you drugs, why did you take the drugs?
I took the Suboxone, like I said, I'd be around girls that do heroin,
Right.
and I know they be talking about Suboxone, and I would have gave it to them.
You were just gonna give it to somebody else?
Yes.
Whew.
I don't do drugs.
Well,
My conditions, I don't even do marijuana. With my pacemaker and my diabetes, I stopped that. The only thing I do is I like to play cards, I like to play poker. Like like I said, I did the wrong way of going back when my boys left home, but my life has been good. You know, I've had an excellent, I've been stable. I don't have a hunky-dory past,
so why does Cassandra tell Miss Canals that you keep doing this? You keep using her name all over the place, which causes her problems. Why does she say you keep doing that?
Cassandra might have just said something out of the way, but Cassandra know I don't keep using her name. She know.
Okay.
My sister don't. She probably misunderstood Cassandra. I don't keep doing this.
Did you misunderstand Cassandra when you talked to her, Jennifer?
I don't believe I did, Your Honor.
Okay.
Lord, please,
I don't know
Jesus.
how I reconcile all that you've told me, because what you've told me is
Well,
that on the theft from Walmart in 23, it wasn't really your fault.
I didn't say that. I said I had a.
On the robbery and the drug possession in Cuyahoga, it wasn't, you really didn't do anything. And in this case, you didn't do anything wrong either. It was just, I don't know what it was. All I know is you pled guilty to something now that you're telling everybody you didn't do.
It was God.
Huh?
I think it was God getting me out of the way, steering me back in the right place. It was God that took me back.
If you were, why would he have to steer you in the right place?
Because I broke off.
Listen, you're sitting in the car. Cassandra and her boyfriend go to Walmart. You're sitting in the car, and what you're telling me is you wanted to go into the bathroom, then you wanted to find them because they were taking too long. You met them in the aisle. They gave you the bags. You took out the bags. You got arrested. They disappeared. You got drugs in your shoe, a pipe in the purse.
It wasn't a pipe, Your Honor.
And then you use Cassandra's name. So if you were, presumably, you telling me all that meant you were in the right place to begin with, because you were just going along for the ride to Walmart.
No, they picked me up.
Okay, they picked you up. That's fine. Okay, they picked you up, but you weren't doing anything wrong, so you were already in the right place. You didn't do anything wrong in Cuyahoga. You were already in the right place. Why would God have to steer you to the right place?
Because like I said, I hold responsibility for it. It's not what it seemed to be. It's not the way they wrote it. Things are, it's not how it happened. It's not the way they wrote it. It's not how it really happened. I don't.
That's the
I
common
don't know
theme
what to
with
say.
you, though.
I don't know how to put it. But like I said, it happened. It happened.
Right. But what you're telling me is these things keep happening to you, and none of it is any of your fault or responsibility.
My fault. It's my fault.
Okay.
It's my fault. I hold full responsibility for my actions. It's my fault.
Ms. Gold?
Thank you, Your Honor. It is the state's position that the defendant is not amenable to community control sanctions, and the state is asking for a prison sentence.
Oh, no. No.
All right, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report.
No.
And I have listened to Ms. Harris, listened to counsel.
No.
Ms. Harris doesn't take responsibility for anything.
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
She doesn't acknowledge doing anything wrong.
Please don't.
Either in this case or in the Cuyahoga case.
Please don't do this, please.
The pre-sentence report reflects,
Please
this is all
don't do
Alabama, a 94 conviction for larceny, 96 for theft of property, 99 for theft of property, 99 negotiating worthless instrument.
Oh, that's my past.
I know it's your past. I'm going over your past.
I've got past that. Please don't come from where I come from.
Theft of property in 04. Fraudulent use of credit card, theft of property in 04. Fraudulent use of a credit card, theft, shoplifting in 05. 05, theft of property, criminal possession, forged instrument, domestic violence. 05, criminal possession, forged instrument. 06, theft of property. 07, theft of property. 09, criminal possession of a forged instrument. And we get to Ohio. I don't know what happened. You were in Alabama. I don't know what happened in Alabama between 9 and when you came here, but in 23 you got a theft out of this Walmart. Then in 25 you got a robbery and a drug possession and a falsification. And then you've got this thing. So this seems to be a long-standing issue for you. That you
I'm gonna die in jail. Please don't do this.
that
Don't do this.
steal from people and use your sister's name apparently quite a bit. So I'm going to find you're not amenable to community control. And I'm going to sentence you on each of these counts to 12 months in prison. with credit for 71 days. Those sentences, those counts will be concurrent to one another. When you get out, you might be on post-release control for up to 2 years under the parole authority.
I'ma die in
If you
jail,
are
man. I'ma die.
placed on post-release control and violate any conditions, a parole authority could return you to prison for up to 9 months for each violation, up to 1/2 of my sentence. If the violation is a new felony, you could get an additional consecutive prison sentence for the violation, the maximum of which is the greater of 12 months or the time left under post-release control. The costs are assessed, the remaining counts are dismissed. Anything else?
Forfeiture, Your Honor.
Forfeiture. Anything else, Mr. Matthews?
No, Your Honor.
All right. You too.
I'm just hanging for a second. Okay. I wanted to see if she tried to do anything dumb. Good morning once again, everybody. TCF Live on a spirited Wednesday. That hearing had a little bit of everything, didn't it? From thefts to racisms to convoluted stories to crying to more crying. All right. Fun way to start the day, I guess. Not for her. I shake my head when I see people like that because I hope and I pray every day that people will be better. That people will do better. Maybe she'll get things turned around. We can keep our fingers crossed. Let's go back up to Michigan. Judge Simpson getting his day started.
What?
Stoker. Ron Brown appearing on behalf of Ms. Stoker. The Office of the Public Defender does not believe a conflict
I don't need
between assignable.
prosecutor. I'm good.
Good.
I'm good.
All right. I should.
Thanks. Brought the card today.
I should take a report with my client. There's no additions. Or is correct. Ready to proceed.
Ma'am, is there anything you'd like to say?
No.
Court, I'll place you on 3 months prosecutor. That's $50 fines and costs, $90 probation over. When can you pay that?
2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
What I'm doing?
$125.
Yes.
How much?
$390.
90.
In 2 weeks?
She'll pay the 120 balance in a month from then.
When can she pay the 390? I don't know how this got complicated.
But she just started a job at Ichiban, Your Honor. You know they held the first 2 weeks.
I'm sorry. What can you pay today? I could pay Friday.
Yeah.
I could pay Friday. Probably 100.
Pardon?
$100 on Friday.
100. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Pay $100 this Friday, which 15th. We'll pay that by the 18th. Give you till Monday to get that in. And then when can you pay the balance?
Within the next 30 days.
Is
that okay?
Paid by the end of June.
Yes.
Okay. Pay by June 30.
Thank you.
There should be no use of alcohol, recreational marijuana, or any illegal substance. You'll be subject to random testing as requested by probation. You're to complete an anger management class as directed by probation. No contact with Cheryl Godfrey Gerstein, directly or indirectly. No assault or threatening or intimidating behavior. No possession of any weapons, firearms, ammunition, or anything fashioned to be a weapon. I'll set a review hearing in this matter for August 12, 2026, 9 a.m. I'll order 90 days in jail. That is suspended.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey,
Have a good one.
courthouse case, people versus Sharon Abbott.
Sherilyn Foster Tucker on behalf of Sharon Abbott.
Good morning, Sharon Abbott.
Go ahead.
And Your Honor, we have reviewed the pre-sentence report. We do not have any corrections, additions, or deletions. Just ready for allocution when the court is ready.
I'm ready. Go ahead.
Your Honor, we are asking that the court follows the recommendation I've gotten to know Miss Abbott through this case. I know that she deeply regrets her actions on this day. I did want to let the court know that for the past 13 years, Miss Abbott has worked as a nurse at U of M. With this conviction, her livelihood is at stake with that. And so that is a collateral consequence that she's dealing with this situation as well. In addition to that, she supports her family. Her husband is on disability, so she is the only one working for them. So this has caused a huge financial and stressful burden for her. And then she did write an apology letter to the victim, which she would like for me to read, I believe. And just to warn the court, it is a little bit long. It's about a page long.
All right.
Dear victims of the crime and whom it may concern, I am writing this letter with the intention of acknowledging the harm I caused and taking full responsibility for my actions. On July 25th, 2025, I participated in an act of indecent exposure. I understand that this behavior was deeply inappropriate, invasive, and very likely caused you emotional distress, fear, or a loss of trust in your surroundings. I want to express my sincere and unreserved apology for the impact of my actions. Nobody should be subjected to indecent exposure. Nobody. This act was inexcusable. I have a son and understand that as parents, we must protect children from seeing these kinds of acts. This was stupid, inappropriate, and appalling behavior on my part, and I am so deeply sorry that you witnessed this. Going to the pool on a beautiful summer day should be something to enjoy, not something that winds up being uncomfortable, distressful, and harmful. What a wake-up call this has been. I will never forget this ordeal, as it first and foremost has caused you and your daughter harm. Therefore, I have been quite harsh on myself as a result. I believe my purpose in life and my values are centered around helping others, not causing harm or negativity in others' lives. The decisions I made were so profoundly wrong. It is just crazy to me. You should be very angry and upset with me. I cannot express in words how sorry I am for so intrusively stealing your daughter's innocence and confidence in the safety of your home community. I am sorry for how long this has been dragged out as well. My hope is for you and your daughter to be able to heal and move away from this. I take full responsibility for what I did. While I was under the influence of alcohol at the time, I recognize that this does not excuse my behavior. This would never have occurred if I were sober. Alcoholism was a contributing factor, but the decision to drink and the consequences that followed were mine alone. I am accountable for the harm I caused and am so deeply ashamed. I want to assure you that I am committed to aggressively addressing the root cause of the problem to ensure this type of behavior and harm to others never happens again. I understand that an apology cannot undo the damage. I also recognize that you may not wish to engage further, and I respect that. My hope is that this letter communicates my remorse, my accountability, and my commitment to change. If there is a way I can make amends that are appropriate and meaningful to you, I am open to hearing them through this process. Thank you for your time and for allowing me to take responsibility. I am committed to doing better for you, for the community I harmed, and for myself. Most sincerely, Sharon Abbott.
Is there anything else you wish to say to the court? Sentence of the court, 18 months prosecutor deferred sentence. You are to pay $655 fines and court costs, $540 probation oversight fees. When can that be paid?
Your Honor, she can make a payment of half the balance today. And then I believe she needs to set up a payment plan with probation. She's not sure what financial situation.
So when you say half, how much does she have today?
655, 40 divided by.
Go ahead, Foster Tucker. I wasn't going to do the math.
About 600.
I'll say 600 today. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The balance will be as a payment plan as arranged by probation. There should be no use of alcohol, recreational marijuana, or any illegal substance. You'll be subject to random testing as requested by probation. You're to provide proof of completed substance abuse treatment with UMATs, including all recommended and to follow all recommended aftercare. You're to continue individual therapy with status reports to probation. There's to be no contact with Mary Beth Mann directly or indirectly. No going to Heatherwood condos in Ann Arbor. I'll set a review hearing. That's to be held November 10th, 2027, 9 a.m. I'll order 365 days in jail that is suspended. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Court calls case people versus Emily Burgess.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Jonathan Paul for Ms. Burgess.
Ms. Burgess, can you state your name, please?
Emily Burgess.
Go ahead, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. We had an opportunity to read the pre-sentence investigation. Probation did a good job putting together Ms. Burgess's proactive steps since this incident. She's been very active and busy in taking amends and putting her best foot forward. We're going to ask the court to adopt the recommendation. We think it is a fair recommendation that reflects Ms. Burgess's hard work over these last couple of months. We ask the court to sentence her with the opportunity for the deferred sentence and to allow her to continue her progress.
All right. Ms. Burgess, is there anything you want to tell the court before I impose sentence?
No, I just want to say thank you for your grace and your mercy through this process. It's not been easy, but you guys have made things very smooth. I appreciate it.
Sentence of the court, 4 months prosecutor deferred sentence. You're to pay $480 fines and costs, $120 probation oversight fees. When can you pay that?
I can pay it in full today.
Today. There's to be no use of alcohol, recreational marijuana, or any illegal substance. You'll be subject to random testing as requested by probation. You're to complete a theft class, which you've already done, and it is marked as completed. You're to continue individual therapy with verification to probation. You are to complete 25 hours of community service as directed by probation. No going to any Target stores in the state of Michigan. I'll set a review hearing that's to be held September 9th, 2026 at 9 a.m. I'll order 93 days in jail that is suspended. Burgess, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Paul.
Thank you, Your Honor. Emily can sign off. I'll follow up in a bit.
Thank you.
Court calls case, people versus Elizabeth Shudek.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm Bernstein with and on behalf of Shudek.
Your name?
Elizabeth Shudek.
I did know that. Go ahead. All right.
Your Honor, I have no corrections to make to the report. I can tell the court that her actions in this process has left her pretty humbled. She's been engaged in counseling over the last couple of months to engage in insight and to learn from her behaviors and how she can move forward more appropriately. Ms. Pilar always puts together a fair and appropriate recommendation, and we asked the court to please adopt it.
Yes. So of course she did.
I told her that personally before I walked out, but
all right. All right. Ma'am, is there anything you want to tell me?
I just want to apologize for my behavior. I am working with a counselor so that to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
All right. Sentence of the court, 9 months probation. You're to pay $555 fines and costs, $270 probation oversight fees. When can you get that paid?
Today, Your Honor.
Today. Thank you. Pay that today out at the counter. There's to be no use of alcohol, recreational marijuana, or any illegal substance. You'll be subject to random testing as requested by probation. You're to continue your individual therapy with verification to probation. You're to complete 25 hours of community service as directed by probation. There's to be no assaultive, threatening, or intimidating behavior. There's to be no possession of any weapons, firearms, ammunition, or anything fashioned to be a weapon. I will order 365 days in jail. Credit to the balance is suspended. Thank you.
Great day to your staff.
Same, Mr. Court calls case people versus Shante Wingard.
Good morning, Your Honor. David I. Goldstein appearing on behalf of the defendant.
Good morning, Shante Wingard.
Your Honor, we have been provided with a copy of the pre-sentence report. We have reviewed it. There are no changes or corrections.
All right. Anything either you'd like to say before I impose sentence?
We're asking the court to follow the recommendation, Your Honor.
Sentence of the court, 4 months prosecuted deferred sentence. You're to pay $480 fines and court costs, $120 probation and oversight fees. When can you pay that?
Your Honor, she can pay half within 30 days and the balance within 60 days. I would point out that she is working, but she has 5 kids, Your Honor. Single parent, 5 kids.
5 kids. Oh, she's going to feed them too. Okay, fine. Okay, so you can pay half of it in 30 days. Okay. So pay $300 by 15th. That will work for you?
Yes.
By June 15th. And then the balance by July 15th. That'll work?
Yes.
All right. There should be no use of alcohol, recreational marijuana, or any illegal drug. You'll be subject to random testing as requested by probation. You're to complete a theft class within the next 60 days. No going to any Target store in the state of Michigan. I'll set a review hearing September 9th, 2026, 9 a.m., 93 days in jail. That is suspended. Thank you, Your Honor. Bless you. Was that you? Okay. Just checking. Calls the case, People versus James Harris.
Robert, I'm appearing on behalf of Mr. Sharon, Your Honor. Can you state your name? Your Honor, may I approach with probation? I have something to share with the court.
Yes.
Thank you.
Alrighty, friends, it's TCF Live on a Wednesday, almost an hour in already. Time does fly. I'm going to hang here for just a moment. We'll see if they unmute quick enough. Otherwise, we'll move on to another court. If you have not already, if you're out there and you haven't said good morning, please do say good morning in the chat. Judging by the stats, there's probably some new people out there, and we'd love to hear from you. We're a friendly folk here at TCF. And do smash, lightly tap, gently caress, whatever it is you do, the like button. Every like helps this show get found by other people because YouTube is more likely to show it to others. Okie dokie, seems like they're going to be a moment or two. Let's stay in Michigan, but let's go over to Judge Middleton, and we'll come back to Judge Simpson later.
A little bit by a surprise visitor, but the parties are all here except this one. People versus Brooke, Renee, Eberly, file 251420 ST. She was charged with driving suspended. The matter was reduced to no valid operator's license, and the defendant was set for sentencing today with her lawyer, Casey Strong. Casey Strong is here, as Eberly is not. Yes? The red light's on. Ms. Strong indicated she's attempted to contact it, and I set this out because she had a bunch of unpaid fines and costs to see whether she paid anything. As far as I can tell, she did not, and she isn't here. Ms. Strong, what insight have you got for us?
Your Honor, I would like to make a record regarding the failure to appear and the attempts for contact. Ms. Eberly received a handwritten notice to appear at the time of her plea. She also received a mailed copy to her Ash Road address when I received it in my office. I did call her this morning, and I left a voicemail on a voicemail box that belonged to her, asking her about the status of her appearance, and I've not received any contact back. Given the circumstances and the fact that this is a no ops, I would ask the court to consider issuing a 48-hour hold bench warrant to allow herself to present. I do not know what her fail to appear record looks like, but I do not believe she has any fail to appears on my case in itself, and this is a relatively low-level offense. I would ask the court for some consideration there.
She failed to appear in October of 25 when she got picked up on a bench warrant. in October. Then we set a last pretrial for February, and she did enter the plea. The matter was set way out to give her time to pay her fines and costs, and apparently that wasn't very effective. So I will do a bench warrant with a 48-hour hold.
Thank you, Your Honor. I will reach out to her to the best of my ability.
No bond. See judge. As a grace, I set this from February to May. She's repaid by not paying anything and not showing up. 48-hour hold. Well, Ms. Strong, I'm glad you had other business to tend to this morning rather than just this. So
Thank you.
thank you.
I
All
will see you
right.
this afternoon via Zoom.
What?
I'll see you this afternoon by Zoom for Owens.
Oh, yes. I didn't know if you'd still be here. They're bringing her over.
Oh. Because
So
I got
you're,
permission from your office based on it being a last minute addition that.
all right, well then don't bring her over.
And I've already talked to her at the jail. I talked to her this morning.
Okay.
So I think she was expecting to appear by Zoom.
Well, all right, I did give you permission and I'd forgotten about that. So don't bring her over. We'll do it by Zoom.
Thank you. And she's prepared for that. I spoke to her this morning.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Casey? I do have a 1 o'clock meeting, which could go a little bit long. But I have a 1 o'clock meeting, a Judiciary Committee.
Okay, as exciting as it is to hear him talk about his 1 o'clock meeting, let's go back to Judge Simpson because they're back up and running.
Pursue treatment, if that is what the assessor believes is required for him. I've explained sidebar that he has a part-time job, full-time job, and he also is caring for for a minor child, Your Honor, on Saturdays and Fridays. Tuesdays and Fridays. So, Your Honor, he has a lot going on. This is a case from 2024, and I'm asking the court.
Yeah, but he's been gone at least half that time. That's part of the problem.
He also has a PCC in front of you, and between now and then, if he can get that assessment and get in treatment, I think it would show the court a lot about him. Turning the page on his previous choices.
In August of 2025, to the 24th, he had additional stuff that he picked up between that time and the time he was supposed to come back before me and didn't show up.
Presumed innocent on those charges. Yeah.
On which charges?
The disorderly conduct in Hazels Park where he goes to court tomorrow.
Not saying that. He picked up additional stuff and didn't do what he was supposed to be doing in September. And then I did issue a bench warrant and we don't see him until April of this year. Meanwhile, he's picked up other charges that he's got to appear before me.
And he's out on bond.
And correct. But then he comes here today and he now wants to show me that he's enrolled in some type of counseling, but he didn't do that until Friday.
That was after the PCC year, because he was in court on Thursday. And he had to make sure that he get a bench warrant issued for Thursday.
Anything else you want to say?
You want to tell him anything?
Well, Your Honor, I've been going through a lot, with my baby mother and getting my daughter and visitation times with her. And, my mother's been coming in and out from Georgia, and like, nobody's trying to work with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's trying to force me down about this drug case when I'm taking accountability of my problems that I have, trying to get help. But I'm just depressed, man. I was at that. I can't see my daughter. I pay child support. I try to do the right thing by my parents, by her, and to be a successful father. I don't like to let my child down. When I went out there, whenever they locked me for disorderly conduct, it was so many different things that they were trying to put on me that it and they already arrested me, so they couldn't unarrest me. But I was innocent man, and they said I went into the library. Well,
Don't talk about a pending case. In terms of the facts of it.
You know, it's interesting you say nobody was trying to help you. We've been trying to help you throughout this entire case. You just haven't been cooperating. You decided to do your own thing. And then decide you're just going to disappear and not do anything.
no, sir, I didn't disappear. I've got pulled over numerous times, and they said that
You knew you were supposed to be here in September 2025. You didn't show up. You got a bench warrant. You didn't come in. How'd you come in April?
they had a warrant. I got off work.
They picked you up.
Right.
Didn't turn yourself in.
No, they don't.
That's a problem. Because the reality is, had that not happened, you wouldn't be here now. You can't go around blaming everybody else. At some point, you got to take responsibility for what you do. Sentence of the court, $125 statutory, 365 days, Washtenaw County Jail, credit 217 served. Defendant is to serve the balance. I will consider release upon release to residential treatment at Dawn Farm. Defendant's released. Court calls case People versus Renee Moore.
Assistant Public Defendant Nick Buckovich on behalf of Ms. Moore, who should be appearing.
I'm here.
Very good. State your name, ma'am.
Renee Moore.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Buckovich.
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, we have no deletions, corrections, or insertions to the PSIR. We would ask the court to adopt a recommendation. We would just like to briefly address fines and costs, as my client is unfortunately suffering from some severe medical issues. She does rely on disability as her only source of income. So we would like to ask for consideration of a reduction in the fines and costs, but we would ask the court to adopt all other aspects of the recommendation.
Ma'am, anything else you want to say before I impose sentence?
No.
Sentence of the court, 4 months prosecutor deferred sentence. I will order $480 fines and costs, $120 probation oversight fees. There'll be a payment plan as arranged by probation. She can fill out the ability to pay form and then take a look at it.
Understood, Your Honor.
There's to be no use of any alcohol, recreational marijuana, or any illegal substance. You'll be subject to random testing as requested by probation. You're to complete a theft class within the next 60 days. No going to any Walmart store in the state of Michigan. I'll set a review hearing to be held September 9th, 2026, 9 a.m. I'll order 90 days until that is suspended. All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Your Honor.
Court calls the case People versus Eric Smith.
Assistant Public Defender Nicholas Buckovich on behalf of Mr. Smith.
We called his bench warrant. He didn't show up. And hasn't gone over to probation.
Your Honor, I had attempted to make contact with Mr. Smith. I was unable to do so, so I would be asking for an adjournment for time to get in contact with my client and get him in contact with probation.
On behalf of probation, Your Honor, when the bench warrant recall was submitted, probation did attempt to reach him to schedule that appointment. Given that he didn't, their probation was unable to get through and he has not followed through, probation would request a bench warrant.
Bench warrant will issue for defendant to appear bond set in the amount of 10,000, 10%. That warrant will issue immediately. Court calls case People versus Lori Renee Anderson.
Real quick, Barbara, thank you for the $10. She says, happy hump day reminder about In the Blind tonight. I'm actually getting you a link for that right now, Barbara. So, but again, thank you for the $10. Appreciate it.
All terms ordered by the court, and I did waive her appearance. Probation's recommending that the court dismiss the case pursuant to the prosecutor deferred and to discharge her from probation with him.
Hearing no objection, so ordered. Calls case People versus Megan Maxson.
Teresa Claire on behalf of probation, Your Honor, Ms. Maxson was scheduled before the court for a review hearing on a prosecutor's murder sentence. She did meet all terms ordered by the court, and I did waive her appearance. Probation's recommending that the court pursuant to the prosecutor deferred and to discharge her from probation with improvement.
Hearing no objection, so ordered. Do I have interpreter?
I swear in the 10-year watch our interpreter.
You may.
Good morning, Mr. Leopold. Can you please turn on your camera, unmute your device, and raise your right hand to be sworn?
Good morning.
Good morning. Do you solemnly swear?
And I guess he's done. All right. These silly, silly judges doing silly, silly things. Let's do this. Let's go back to Magistrate Chisholm. We started our day with him. Let's see how it's going now.
Open idle.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is a speeding ticket. It bears the caption 26 I-0 1907. Ticket was issued on the 3rd of April about 10 o'clock in the evening in the area of Woodward, of Royal Oak near Woodward and Normandy. You were cited for speeding. The ticket was issued at 55 and a 45. You can admit or deny responsibility, or you can admit with an explanation. How do you wish to proceed?
I would like to admit, I mean, I was obviously doing it, yes. I was just hoping that possibly it could be lowered to maybe an impeding traffic so I don't get any points on my license. Possibly.
Get any points on your license or don't get any more points on your license?
Any more points, yes. I currently have points.
Sure do. At the time of this ticket, you were still on probation for driving, right?
No, I wasn't on probation, and I was under the impression that I'd already had my license back, but I was a couple days from getting my license back.
Like
and if I get any more points, I won't be able to get it back.
Well, the reason for the point system is to take undesirable drivers off the road.
I understand.
Protect the rest of us.
I understand.
The officer reduced what he cited you for. He cut the points in half.
Yes.
Sergeant, is there anything you want to add to this?
Your Honor, I will make this a limited access speed 1 to 5, so it does still carry no points, but the violation still does show.
So it'll be 1 to 5 limited access. Anyway, it carries a fine of 130 and is abstracted at 0 points.
Okay.
You can pay that just right online or by this, or at the courthouse counter, whatever works for you.
I'll pay it online. I kind of live, you know, a decent amount of time away. Is there a time frame on it?
Well, if you were standing here in the courtroom, I'd say you should pay it before you leave the building. What kind of time do you need?
Okay, well, could I have until this Friday so I could get my work check?
Sure, not a problem.
Okay, thank you guys.
I'm going to call it 1 week to pay.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You guys too. Bye.
looking for. We've got Ms. Bell back with Attorney Gonzalez.
And Your Honor, I didn't have her on my file for this morning. Can you just give me the case number and which judge it's assigned to?
It's Judge Kolakowski. And the case number, the number on the file is 26-00530.
Thank you.
And she's on my docket at 10:31, I believe. So they added her after they printed yours.
Yeah, I believe so.
31. Okay, that's the file number. The charge is operating while intoxicated and drove while license suspended. 26-00530, people of the city of Royal Oak versus Gabriel, Brianna, Bell.
Ready, Your Honor. Juan Gonzalez appearing on behalf of Ms. Bell, who is present via Zoom, also consenting to having this arraignment via Zoom. I did have a chance to speak with my client. We did go over the two charges and all her rights and maximum penalties. We would ask the court to waive formal reading on her not guilty plea. She is also requesting MADC counsel. I believe that would be me.
Your plea of not guilty does enter. The next step in the process, Ms. Bell, will be a pretrial conference. That will be a Zoom hearing as well, but it won't be the same set of Zoom numbers you're using. So when you get the notice in the mail, it will include the new Zoom contact information. We've got two different addresses for you. One is in Melbourne, Florida, and the other one is a little closer.
It's the Sugar Maple Drive. Do you have that one, Your Honor?
Where it's I don't think that one. Sugar Maple Drive?
Yeah, 3781 Sugar Maple Drive, Sterling Heights.
It's 3481. I don't know what you just said.
My apologies, 3481.
Yes.
The sevens and fours look alike anyway. And what is this difference, Sterling Heights, please?
I'm not sure. I just moved back because I really don't know.
Okay.
Let me look.
No, they can figure it out. That's not an issue. And I don't have a phone number for you. What is your number, please?
321.
2998 or 2198?
2998.
Mr. Bond, Mr. Gonzalez.
Your Honor, my client's 28 years of age, single, mother, one daughter, gainfully employed. Obviously, she's shown up on time for her arraignment. I would ask for a personal bond. She is living with her mom. She understands that there's most likely to be some conditions to her bond, but she's aware of that and ready to move forward. So I just ask for a personal bond.
Thank you. While you're on this bond, Ms. Bell, you cannot use alcohol at all. No use of alcohol. No use of marijuana or any illicit drug. Pretrial service will supervise you. You'll need to give them a phone call tomorrow to set up the testing for the alcohol. Their number is area code 248.
You said 248-45. 2350. Okay.
The alcohol testing will be 2 times a week, ETG random.
Okay, and I work 12-hour shifts, so that's hopefully it's not on days that I work.
No, it's going to be random. If you prefer, we could go to a SoberLink, which is a handheld device that you rent at your expense, that you would use multiple times a day as directed?
No, I'll just have to figure it out with work.
Okay. 2 times a week ETG. There'll be a drug test as soon as practicable. If it's negative for illicit drugs, then in that event, that would be the last test. If it's positive, the drug testing would continue at the rate of 2 times a month.
This is a Royal Oak case, right, Your Honor?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
And then the dollar amount of the bond will be $5,000 personal. You don't need to pay money to stay out of jail till the trial. It's a personal bond. In the event that you fail to appear as directed, or in the event that you fail to comply with the terms and conditions of the bond, then in that event, you could owe the money. Mr. Gonzalez will continue as your attorney. Any issues or concerns? Things come up, give him a call. Okay, so you're all set here today, man. Call tomorrow to pre-trial services to set up the testing.
Can I get back in the break room with my lawyer, or how does it work, so I can talk to him? Or
Okay.
just call him another time?
Sure, we'll put you both back in breakout room 3. We'll move you, and that'll give you the signal.
Thank you.
So I think Judge invented a new word there, practicable. I get what he was trying to say, but never quite heard it said like that. Good morning once again, everybody. Now solidly in hour 2 of TCF Live here on a Wednesday. It's good to have you all here. My name is Dan. Welcome to anybody out there who is new. Let's go down to Texas and Judge Stevens. So what's going on here before we get there, just to set the scene? This is somebody who was sentenced like a week ago on a murder charge. She was sentenced to 40 years. She's being dragged back in so that there can be victim impact statements now delivered to her. So that is what is going to go on. Let's watch.
Are you going to be able to?
Yes, sir.
Are you going to? Okay.
It's off the record anyway. It's just
22-40354 is called the State of Texas versus Lace Christian. Am I pronouncing Lace? Yeah, that's you. And you were earlier indicted by a grand jury for the first-degree felony of murder, and this case has been disposed of. You entered a plea of guilty to the first-degree felony of murder on February 23rd of this year. And then later, this court sentenced you to 40 years imprisonment under the plea agreement on May 4th of 2026. And also in that hearing, the court noted that the judgment would reflect that that a deadly weapon was used in the commission of this offense, namely a firearm. Now, under the rule of law, relatives or associates of close associates of a victim in a case such as this, where it is a violent crime, have a right to be heard, to confront you and express their sentiments concerning this whole matter. Who is here on behalf of the family to speak?
we've got sisters and our sisters.
Okay, what we'll do is, who wants to go first? Let's
Just come on up.
just, come up to the lectern there and
Would you rather all 3 stand together or
these people,
Whatever you guys.
family of the victims, have a right to be heard, and there shall be no rudeness and no remarks made by you. Ms. Christian, do you understand? This is the law. They have a right to be heard, and you must quietly listen. And please tell us your name and how you are related to Russell Rideau.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning. My name is Cheryl Rideau Baldwin. I am Russell Rideau's sister. And I'm just lost. I don't even know this person.
You're talking about the victim.
The victim, yeah.
I'm sorry, defendant.
Yeah.
Defendant Lace.
I don't know her. My brother talked to us. He's the kind of guy that called and talked to all the family members. Okay. And he told me about that Lacey. And I told him to leave you alone. I told him to not talk to you because my parents raised us and we were raised with respect and we were raised to not to do the things that you did. But you killed my brother. You know, my brother has a daughter. She wanted to be here today, but she got an auto accident. And it devastated her. It devastated all of us, you know. And I just can't fathom how could anyone that stands in the house and do the things that you did to my brother. I have a brother, Kenneth, who just recently died. You killed him too. You didn't directly, but indirectly. When you killed Russell was Kenneth's way. He talked to Kenneth every day. My brother, Kenneth, needed Russell. Okay, but when you killed Russell, well, Kenneth died right along with him. Because Kenneth didn't talk to none of us. He just went down and down and down and down. You know, you should never see the dead light. Because something is wrong with you. And I don't think you can be fixed. You know, so God have mercy on your soul. But to ever walk out to see or be with anybody, you can't be with the rest of us. Because you're not like the rest of us. With that deviant behavior that you have. You make me sick.
Next, please. Just introduce yourself and tell us how you were related to the complainant, the victim in this case, Mr. Rideau.
Thank you, Jesse.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. I am Dr. Laura Rideau Harris, and I am the sister, the youngest sister of Russell. And I wanted to come before you today and look right at you as a minister of the cloth of Jesus Christ, Lord our Savior. And knowing that there's a little girl under all that anger, all that meanness and that terror and that monster that you allowed to be buried. And you did not deal with that as a youngster. And you let that manifest into something horrible, caused you to stand in front of my brother, sleeping on the chair, and just shot him. With no remorse. And then after you do that, you want to stand around us. You want to stand around us like you did nothing. I tell you, when may God have mercy on your soul. You need to dig out that child inside of you and deal with her. And you need to execute these demons that have gotten you to where you are. They divided you up enough. The next thing it's going to do is kill you, is incarcerated you. You in the bondage. You have no idea that the gates that's putting you behind. You are behind some gates that are iron and physical, but you in a separate bondage. And you're going to stay bonded. And as long as you deal with these demons, look at me. Look at me. You better cast them demons out. You better deal with them demons. Because I'm a forgiving Lord, because the Lord told me if I don't forgive you, you won't forgive me. So I have to. But I'm going to put you in God's hands. God bless you.
Lord. Next, And again, please introduce yourself, ma'am, please, and tell us how you are related to the victim in this case, Mr. Rito. Thank you.
My name's Lloyd Johnson. Rito was my brother. No, not any one of us. He was my heart and my soul. I pushed and I pushed to get him better, at least. I hope you've been stewing in your thoughts. I really do. May 10th was made 4 years that you took him away from us. May 10th. And I do remember the day that they called me and told me to come to my mother's house. And you stood right beside me and acted like you were so concerned. And that same breath you're trying to tell me about my family, who you know nothing about, who you have no dealings with. My brother called us every single day, but for nothing else for a prayer. And all he ever wanted from you was a family. And all those nice little, you got all these emotions now. Remember those when you thought about shooting my brother? Because he was asleep when you shot him. Indefensible. Indefensible. And ladies, you know what? We found this wallet behind the refrigerator and we know why it was there. Because guess what? He had given you money and he told you no. He got tired of giving you money for drugs and whatever else you were taking money for. In the name of kindness, his kindness, not yours. His good news, not yours. His love, not yours. All he ever wanted to see was the best in you. And you repaid that kindness and shot him 6 times, point blank in the chest. And then you had the nerve to sit there in a ditch and act like you were concerned. You're a fake sociopath. And I'm glad my sister feels for you because the human side of me does not. The spiritual side of me says I must forgive. I don't know how to do that. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I ain't never be there. Look at me. Because you're standing, look, I need you to look at me because you were so concerned. I need to see that concern now. I need to see that love that you little sociopath that you put there, you know, when you decided that you were gonna shoot my brother. And then come back with, oh, you're so concerned, love. I heard you to be his fake. I want you to have every night to think about, and I hope you go to sleep seeing his face. I hope you wake up seeing his face for the rest of your life, which I doubt. Which I doubt that these tears are even real either way. Because if that's for the judge and, you know, John Q. Public live. Because I don't believe you. I truly don't believe that you're remorseful. I don't. Every one of us in our house, everyone, every sibling, do not trust you. Every sibling told him, leave you alone, and he thought there was something there to save. He's a good Christian man. He came out only morning ago. He thought there was something there to save, Lace. Look at me. He thought there was something there to save. Is there something there to save? Is there? I'm just asking you. You're going to have to deal with that, sweetie. You're going to have to deal with that. Because I don't see it. Right now, I just don't see it. I don't wish bad on anybody. But you got 40 years to think about what you've done. And to me, that still is not enough. God bless your soul. Thank you for life. Bless your soul.
Anyone else on behalf of the family?
No, my other sisters couldn't be here. My brother couldn't be here. They wanted to, and his daughters couldn't be here.
Yes, ma'am.
But that is what you know, that's what you did. You should never see the day of life. You won't ever change, ever. I don't think you will. But
Anything
thank you,
else?
Judge.
All right. Best wishes to your family. And memories are never enough. But best wishes to your family. That's enough. You can take her away. We're in recess. Let's get ready for trial.
Alrighty, friends, there you go. TCF Live, halfway through the show now. Let's go back up to Ohio. Judge O'Donnell has a fresh contestant. See what's going on with her.
We are here on the matter of the state of Ohio versus Alexandra Daley, case number 26 CR 0000014. The defendant is present in open court with their attorney, Jim Matthews. We were previously here on April 8th when the defendant pled guilty to tampering with records, a felony of the 3rd degree, forgery, a felony of the 5th degree, and 2 counts of possession of cocaine, a felony 5s, both with forfeiture specifications. Since then, a pre-sentence report and drug and alcohol assessment have been completed. The defendant has 93 days of jail time credit.
Mr. Matthews.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is Ms. Daley's first felony offenses, first felony convictions. She is requesting community control. I think that that's a joint recommendation that she be placed on community control. She was very forthcoming in her pre-sentence report, did not in any way try to minimize or hold back the length of time that she's been using drugs, the drugs that she uses, the amounts that she uses, and is very aware that she's fortunate to be alive at this point and does want help with this. She is requesting that the court place her on community.
She sort of wants help.
She is sitting here today, most certainly asking for help, I can say that.
And she did the same thing in her PSR.
She did.
For the most part.
And is hoping that the court will consider placing her in the residential program at either Oak House or Nevaeh Ridge or New Beginnings, and allowing her, she has been in jail for 93 days, to get on with treatment at one of those facilities as soon as a bed is available. Thank you.
Where's Miss Thomas?
I don't know. She's in Cleveland.
Why?
She's with my sister. I don't know why. She was supposed to come, she got out of jail and she was supposed to come to probation, and like our car's been in the impound since September, so she didn't have a ride here.
Okay. She was supposed to be over there on April 6th.
Right.
For her interview, for her intervention in lieu. But you knew that, right?
I know that.
Okay. And so she's been gone for the better part of 6 weeks. Why? Because she doesn't have a car?
Correct.
Does
She doesn't have any support at all in the area. Like her family lives in Canton and they're,
So she's just gonna run around until they catch her?
her lawyer told her to put herself in treatment.
Well, who's her lawyer?
Allison, someone?
Okay.
She got a private attorney.
Well, why do you think I said you sort of want help?
I'm not sure
You're not sure?
because I still communicate with her.
Yeah,
We've been together for 12 years.
right. I understand that. Okay. And if I let you out of jail today, the first thing you're gonna go do is run to her, and I'm gonna take a wild guess right now and presume that she's using drugs. And then you're gonna tell me, no, she's not.
I don't know for sure what she's doing.
You don't know? What have you guys been doing the last 12 years?
Well, we were sober the first half of our relationship. She didn't do
Okay,
drugs.
what have you been doing the last 6 years?
Well,
As much drugs as you can get.
yeah.
So let's not pretend that you wouldn't get out and start using drugs, and let's not pretend that she's not using drugs right now.
I absolutely don't expect you to let me out of jail today.
Well, I'm not going to, but
Right.
in the event that I did, that's the first thing that you two would do, because that's what you've been doing. Now, you say the right things to Ms. Wehagen and to the evaluator, and I don't know how to square that with your contact with Ms. Thomas while this is going on.
We both definitely have work that we need to do. But like, I'm willing
Separately.
Yes.
So what is it exactly that you think you need?
The consequences for all the BS I've
Okay, yeah,
caused
you're gonna get consequences, okay? But
they go
in
deeper.
order to dig you out of the hole that you've dug for yourself for the last 20 years, 23 years, what is it you think you need?
I definitely need some residential treatment. Like, there's no question. I definitely
For
need
what?
some therapy.
What does that do?
Gives me the tools I need to navigate the world as a normal, functioning, sober person.
But what you don't want is you don't want to go to NeoCap, right?
I would prefer to not go there.
Why?
I've just heard really crazy things about it.
And who have you heard this from?
People that are in the jail that have all gone there.
People that are in jail.
Right.
You're listening to the people that are in jail. So far, they've shown a great command of their lives because they're in jail. So you hear from people in jail that they don't like NeoCap, so you don't want to go to NeoCap. Not knowing the first thing about it or what it's designed to do. You want to steer the ship to do what you want to do on the terms you want to do it in the time frame you want to do it. And so far, the ship is way out of control, isn't it? Otherwise, you wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Right. You're right. You're right.
And then what do you do about your mental health status?
What do you mean?
I don't know. What do you
What
think?
am I doing, or what do I need to do?
What do you
about it?
need to do?
I need a lot of therapy. I probably need medicated for sure.
So how do you, since you think you need to go to Oak House and that'll solve that part of the problem, what solves the other part of the problem? Do you know? What have the people in jail told you should do about your mental health?
I don't know. I just assumed there were resources there.
There are a lot of resources.
For that.
The last guy that was here a half an hour ago, he had all the resources he could use, and now he's on the bus to prison because he didn't use them. Okay? Resources are there. That's not an issue. The issue is whether you use them.
Right.
And you're more, it seems to me, consumed with your relationship with Miss Thomas than you are with your mental health struggles and your drug addiction. And so guess what's going to win out there?
My addiction, you're
Right.
saying. Okay.
Is that the answer you think I wanted? I mean, this isn't like a game here, okay? This is somebody who has spent the better part, the vast majority of the last 23 years indulging in a drug addiction, right?
Right.
And so, do you think there's some magic potion to get you out of that drug addiction?
No.
With the complicating factors of the mental health issues?
I know there's not.
So where's your family members in all this equation?
I haven't spoken to my mom in over a year. My sister, she was gonna try to be here, but she has a 4-year-old and a 4-month-old baby. And so I,
Is
I'm-
the 4-year-old Sebastian?
yes. That's
And Leo
Sebastian.
is the baby?
Mm-hmm.
Where does she live?
in Cleveland. She just moved back to Cleveland from Pittsburgh. But now she's my only family I have in the state.
What's her name?
Victoria.
Does she know you were using her name?
She knows.
What does she think about that?
She thinks she knows I need help. I'm lucky that she has forgiven me and still will talk to me. I know that. I would probably never talk to me again if I were her.
Does your uncle live in Pennsylvania?
My brother does. My uncle lives in Texas. My other cousin lives in Texas. My mom's in South Carolina.
So when you talk about the first half of your relationship being sober, why were you sober?
I had just gotten out of jail and I was I was going to Suboxone doctor.
And
That really helped.
until you started using the cocaine?
Yep.
Why did you start using the cocaine?
Who knows? I don't know. Because I met a guy at work that sold it. Really, that's the reason why.
So you were drug-free for 6 years?
Yeah.
And so somebody offers it to you and you take it?
No, there were things leading up to it. Like I was, stressed out, my job. I was working 2 jobs at the time. I was really, really stressed out. Had a lot of bills. There was just a lot of stuff going on. My sister was living with me and she was in an abusive relationship and couldn't get the boyfriend out of the house. It was just like there was a lot of factors that, led up to that. He just popped up at the right time.
And then it was all over, right?
It's slow, yeah, over the next year, yeah.
So for a period of time, you took advantage of whatever you needed to take advantage of to be sober. Now, assuming you're telling me that it's actually the truth, okay? You were able to do that.
Right.
Okay. Well, you weren't able to do it.
Right.
So when you were in jail before you got out that time, how long were you in jail for?
6 months. Well, it was 5. I got sentenced to 180 days. I got 30 good days for being a trustee.
That was in Alliance?
It was Stark County, yeah.
Okay. Well, that was sometime in 14, right? Fall of 14, maybe, summer, fall of 14 that you got out.
May.
All right. And you pick up a disorderly conduct in Willoughby a year later or so. What was that all about? It says disorderly conduct fighting.
Oh, that was, Really? That soon? That was when I was working at Window Nation and there was a bunch of drunk people there. We had like a booth set up there and there was, people were drinking and I think me and Lexi got into an argument. She worked there also. That has to be what it was.
All right, and then 19, you have a obstruction, delaying a public official in Willoughby. What was that all about?
Yes, that was, I gave a false name that day.
Why?
Because I thought that I had a warrant, which I did in Stowe. I do still. And I didn't know, I didn't want to get arrested on it, so I gave them my sister's name.
Is this a time period when you claimed that you were sober?
That was right around the time I started using.
And then you had something in Lakewood that there's a warrant out now, right? Because it didn't appear. And then you got these two incidents that you were passed out, one in the car and one at the table at Sheets, right?
Right.
Okay. Why is it that you don't have any communication with your mother?
She stopped talking to me. I don't honestly know why. Probably she's just sick of my BS. We never had a close relationship anyway, but she just cut off complete contact with me about a year ago.
Where does she live?
In South Carolina.
Does she have contact with your sister?
She does.
What about your brother?
Yes.
When you were on this Suboxone for that period of time, were you using opiates at all?
No.
Why not?
They have, the Suboxone have a blocker, so even if you try to get high, you can't, and it really helps mentally for you to, it really helped me mentally to not even think about using, because I knew that I couldn't.
Well, you knew you could use cocaine and that wouldn't block it, right?
Right.
Or marijuana or a lot of other things, right?
Right.
How many different places do you have warrants from? Do you know?
Stowe, Lakewood, and that there might be one in Cleveland or Cuyahoga County.
Megan, that's somewhere in here, isn't it?
It is, it's for an OBI, it'll be.
Is that, where's that at in the report?
Should be in the traffic section, towards the end, because I believe it's a 2023,
Okay,
page 16, Your Honor.
all right. When's the last time you had a license?
Whenever I got that driving under suspension in Stowe. It got suspended because my SR-22 lapsed, and then I haven't had one since then.
Mr. Knopf?
Thank you, Your Honor. The state's recommending a term of community control. The defendant does have a criminal history dating back to 2010 with multiple paraphernalia and possession of drug abuse instrument charges, as well as an OBI. The defendant did sit in the menor jail for some time under somebody else's name. However, this is her first felony offense, and her PSR does show at least a recognition of her addiction, so the state would recommend community control.
Anything else you want to say?
I hope that you see value in sending me somewhere where I can get help, because I do want it, and I do think that I can thrive if I have the proper tools.
All right, I see a lot of value in doing that. Okay, the question is whether you see the value. And if you see the value, then you're gonna do what you need to do. If you don't see the value, then you'll be back.
Right.
Okay. Your brother sees the value, his wife sees the value, Elizabeth sees the value, Uncle Greg sees the value, and Dawn sees the value. But that's not the pertinent question. All right, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report, the drug and alcohol evaluation, the letters that sent in support of the defendant. I've listened to Ms. Daley speak, Mr. Matthews, Mr. Knopf, considered all the provisions in 29, 29, 11, 12, and 13. I'm going to place you on community control for 5 years. You're going to serve 153 days in jail with credit for 93. You're going to complete the jail treatment program and follow the recommendations. Then you're going to enter into the NeoCap program, complete it, and follow the recommendations. After that, you're going to reside in a sober living facility for a minimum of 6 months. You're to have no drugs or alcohol, and you'll be screened. You're to utilize only one doctor and one dentist and one pharmacy for any prescription medication. Any medication that you are prescribed, you're to take only as it's prescribed. You will sign releases so probation can get your records. You're going to get a mental health evaluation and follow the recommendations. Attend at least 4 AA or NA meetings a week. And obtain a sponsor. I'm going to refer you to the Menor Municipal Court mental health docket. You'll be evaluated in the next few days in the jail by a gentleman named Jamie Dials for that program, which is going to specifically address mental health and drug addiction issues. You're to have no contact with Alexandra Thomas, and you're going to pay the cost of supervision fees. Do you understand those terms?
I do.
Okay. Do you intend to comply with those terms?
How long is there no contact for?
Well, see, there we go. Here's the bug right
I'm
here.
just, that's my question.
For as long a time as it is determined that you are on a track that you won't go right back to where you were.
Okay.
Now, you only have so much control over that, because maybe you're on that track a year from now. Maybe you're on that track 15 months from now. But right now, she's running around out there using drugs, avoiding her obligation, avoiding any responsibility for what she did. So of the 13 terms that I just gave you, the one that should concern you the least, but concerns you the most, is number 12. And the one that is the most dangerous is number 12. This is why I said what I said when I first opened my mouth out here about where your head is at. So I know where your head is at. Question is whether it's going to stay there or get to where it needs to get. Any other questions?
No.
If you don't comply, the state will file a motion to terminate your community control. And if I find you violated, then you face potentially 78 months in prison. You understand that?
I do.
That's 6.5 years. You understand that?
Yeah.
Anything else, Mr. Knopf?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
The remaining charges are dismissed. Anything else, Mr. Matthews?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right.
All rise.
Alrighty, friends, I'm not sure she gets it. I mean, you know, do you intend to comply? Well, tell me again about the whole no contact thing. How long does that go, Judge? I don't know. Well, let's do this. Let's go down to Texas, keeping with this channel's promise of 9 to 11% more Judge Boyd. Let's see what's going on there.
Yes, ma'am, I am.
All right, and then state you have a witness.
Sharon, St. Paul's, AJ Blackburn.
All right, and sir, if you'll stand over there with the deputy.
You're back against the counter?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you for coming down. All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand if you will state your name for the record.
Anthony Blackburn Jr.
All right, state, you may proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Blackburn. What do you recall from this incident as far as how that night began?
The night began with some phone calls back and forth between my father and my mother. She had reiterated several times that she did not want to have conversations with him.
Where were you when this conversation was occurring?
We were at my apartment, my residence.
Okay, and your mother was with you at that?
Yes.
So go ahead and continue.
Several phone calls were made back and forth. At one point, I ended up my mom had it on speakerphone, and I kind of hopped on and told him that he needed to knock it off. So we were all fed up with it.
Who was doing the calling? Was it your mom calling your dad or your dad calling your mom?
He was calling my mom.
Yeah. How many times did you say he made the call?
Upwards of a dozen that day.
Okay. And then what happened after you got on the phone with him and told what you
We got into an argument over the phone. Eventually we hung up. But what happened was he proceeded to call my sister and pick a fight with her and my brother-in-law.
What happened after that?
At that point, my brother-in-law left his residence. He had taken my sister's keys with him so that she couldn't follow. I received a phone call from my sister letting me know that my brother-in-law was en route over there and that he was really upset. So I hopped in my truck to go try to play peacemaker. And
where were you planning to go?
right where I went, right outside the house, across the street.
Was it your intent to cause any hostility that night?
Not at all.
Was it your intent to cause any violence that night? No. Were you intending to threaten your father that night?
No.
So what happened when you arrived at your father's place?
I was coming down the road. His house would have been on my left-hand side. I put over to the right hand across the street, parked pretty much directly in front of his driveway across the street. He exited his residence, and
When he exited, where were you?
when he exited, I was inside my driver's seat of my truck.
Okay, so you hadn't even gotten out of your truck, he's already coming. All right, what happened after he exited his residence?
He stopped at the front porch and began shouting that I needed to get out of there, essentially. At that point, I opened.
One about that in a nice way?
Not at all.
All right, what happened after he said those things?
As he was yelling, I had begun to open my door, and I stepped out and kind of anchored my back to the side of my truck and had said something along the lines of, "You need to stop acting effing crazy."
What did your father do in response to you saying?
At that point, he repeated the word crazy, put his index finger in the air, and said, "Wait right there." I kind of stood there in shock, but he had turned around at that point and re-entered the home.
What did you think was potentially going to happen at that point?
Honestly, at that point, I didn't think anything was gonna happen. What happened was the last thing I would have thought.
What happened after he went back into the residence?
I could hear some things shuffling around in the house in a violent manner. And then I heard the clear, distinct sound of a shotgun rack. And at that point, I re-entered my vehicle and
Where did you hear that sound come
from inside the residence.
Sounds silly, but how did you know it was a shotgun?
I've done this my whole life, hunting outdoor stuff. I know that sound.
So you're familiar with, okay, so
Very
what
much
happened
so.
after you heard that sound?
After I heard that sound, I jumped in the truck because I knew very well what that sound was, and I hammered down on the gas as hard as I could.
Happened after?
As I was driving off, I remember taking a look back over my left shoulder, and he was running out the front door with the shotgun in hand. I saw him shoulder it up. I put my head down towards the center console, heard the bang, felt the shake of the truck, immediately was overtaken with the smell of gunpowder.
To your knowledge, where did the shotgun blast?
It hit my driver's side back door.
How close was that from where you?
18, 24 inches behind me, a little on the low side.
What did you do after you felt that?
I immediately started patting myself down, make sure I wasn't hit. That was the first thing. And then actually called my mother initially, and
How did you feel at that point?
I was in complete disbelief.
Happened after you called your mother?
She asked me probably what all mothers ask, if I had called the police. I said no and hung up and did that immediately.
Where were you when you made the call to police?
I believe I was right around Nogalitos and Division Road intersection, give or take.
How far away is that from your father's residence?
A mile, less than a mile.
When you were there at his residence, did you ever leave the proximity of your vehicle?
No.
In total, how long would you say you were there?
Felt like forever. 2 to 3 minutes probably, if we're being realistic. Maybe.
And how would you describe your father's behavior at that time?
He was enraged. He was very, very upset.
My last question is, how did it feel to have your father shoot that shot at you?
Probably the worst feeling I've ever felt in my life. Person I grew up idolizing, wanted to be like, in that moment had decided he wanted to try to take my life. It was still is the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with to this day.
Good morning. My name's Juan Carlos Ferrer. I represent your father. We've spoken a couple times on the phone in regards to this case. Right? You are aware that your father's has a no contact order, so he hasn't been able to reach out to you after this mental health crisis that he had that day. Would it surprise you that he has? Yeah. This. You could just switch to your public.
Oh, and also if you all can step that way to the court reporter and I can
Can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay. Would it surprise you that Anthony, I've been representing him now for over a year. And yesterday he testified and showed his remorse of what he did. That's the last thing that he ever wanted to do was harm you. He just, for whatever reason, y'all's emotions were all very heightened. Is that a fair assessment?
Emotions are high.
And you know that your father probably struggles with his emotional control. You've seen that as a child, I'm sure.
Yeah,
okay.
very much so.
But in all fairness, do you feel like your father has been a good father to you when you were little and he was teaching baseball and what he was proud of y'all? Did you all get that sense of him?
I think him as a father, it was always the two extremes. The good was always great. Couldn't complain about it. The good was great. But when it was bad, it was bad.
So in fairness with that answer, right, it kind of shows the court that your father is either hot or he's cold, right? He has an inability to modulate his emotional impulses. Or if something gets him mad, he sparks up pretty quickly, correct? In this situation, he's made a mess of himself. Is that a fair assessment? Yeah. Okay. And by having an affair and having your two sisters now, essentially, and not telling the family for so long and then springing it on to the family, that must have been like pulling a pin up a hand grenade. And I'm sure that devastated your mother, correct? And you guys are very protective of your mother, correct? You and you've got a younger brother, Brandon. That's okay. And then you're having to deal with your pop, who does love you guys very much. Is that a fair assessment? But he's had a difficult time, controlling his emotions. He wants the family all to embrace the two new sisters because he wants that, but everybody else has their own feelings about it, correct? And he was, in his attempt to have his family united, he was going about it the wrong way by trying to force, you guys need to accept them. And is that a fair? Yes. Okay. And then things got superheated. He got booted out of the house, though, right? Rightfully so. And he's been living alone now. After 20, how many years married to your mom?
9, I think, at this point.
So that's a long time. So now he's an older guy alone because of his own doing. Okay. But he is alone. He struggles with modulating his emotional impulsivity, correct? And he's frustrated because the good part of him, right, just wants everybody to be together. That's ideally what he wanted, right? But you guys weren't ready and you guys are hurt. And so ugly things were being said both ways, right? Mom can get somebody better, and all the ugly things that he said, I'm sure too. You show up, you know that your brother-in-law is on his way and he's pissed, correct? So from your dad's standpoint, when he sees people coming over after having such a heated conversation, right? Because your mom put the call on speaker. Yeah. Your father, at least from his perspective, he doesn't know why people now are showing up. He's going, oh God, AJ's going to beat me up, or someone's going to beat me up. It wouldn't be far-fetched for him to think that, correct?
On that point, I would say he was aware. Okay. He at several points throughout the phone calls, he had welcomed us over there to sort things out in a sense. He was very much so aware.
Okay. And so, and knowing how he is, where he cannot regulate his emotions, now he sees you there on his property, he's now freaking out. It's our standpoint that at that point, your father hasn't had any therapy ever in his life. And he's never navigated. How do you handle when you spring on a family that you love, that I've got an extra family that nobody knows how to navigate that, right? Especially somebody like your pop. Okay. He sees you there. And I know this. He loves you very much. He loves the whole family. And he is so ashamed at what he can't even believe that he's done what he did, but he did it. And he's here for that. And I just want to make sure that we have all the context for the judge in fairness. And he's got 1 foot in the prison already, and he knows this, and it terrifies him. In all fairness, Anthony, can you see that your father was at the brink in his life, the lowest point that he's probably ever been, and he just snapped? Is that a possibility in your mind from what you know of this man?
I do.
It's something that you told Rick, that when he went into the house and then you heard that, you were like, that's the last thing that you thought was going to even happen. Correct.
Correct.
Because he's never done something like this before.
He's gone off the wall in the past. He'd never done anything remotely on the playing field of this.
Yeah, and I believe so. If now Judge Boyd has a really difficult decision to make, because typically on a case like this, people get sent to prison, and she does it all the time. She's known for this, but she's trying to make a decision here, and that's why she asked you to come, and we're all thankful that you are here today, to give her a little bit more context. If she places him on probation, what would you like her to do?
If he is granted probation, I think mandatory, he needs to remain in therapy. He needs to continue his anger management classes. There needs to be no contact orders in place for me and my family.
Your mother?
My mother,
Yes.
my brother, my older sister. At this point, none of us want to speak to him, and we'd like for it to remain that way. And just to ensure that it is on a 1-strike basis. I am fully okay if Judge Boyd opts to do this, but I am very big on, if he does drop the ball, even something small one time, I think he needs to finish his term behind bars.
That's a fair answer. Let me ask you this one. This one's kind of more like a personal thing, because I've gotten to know this man. If he does all that, and he makes the changes, and he learns how to modulate himself, and he goes through therapy, is there any chance that the family will someday in the future possibly embrace him back?
I can't speak for my family, but as far as for myself, what took place that night is irreversible, and I do not see myself having a relationship with him moving forward.
No further questions. Thank you.
Any further questions? All right, thank you for coming down. All right, so I'm going to tell everybody this is what my issue is with this case. And this is why I'm glad you all were able to have the complainant come in and talk, because I wanted to know what was going on that night. But my issue is we have this incident that we're here for today, where I'm sure, based upon his actions, the affair, having children, then, as you said, counsel, springing it on the family, and they're supposed to be accepting of these other people. So I'm sure it was heated arguments on both sides. I'm sure the telephone call was a heated phone call. And I understand that. But here's my issue. He goes there. The son is outside. Nobody's presented any information to the court that the son threatened him. I'm sure they had a heated conversation, and that is why, based upon the testimony that the son said, where your client was just one moment. But his son is driving away and is fired upon. Again, I understand that everything is heated. But then he goes to therapy, which was the evidence that was presented to the court. And I have the certificate. I've read it. Great. That means that he's addressing the issue. If that were all there was of the evidence, it would be an easy decision for me to make based upon the testimony that I've heard. But after he finishes with therapy and he gets a certificate, he puts a tracker on his ex's vehicle. That's an issue. And it seems that he's not letting go.
Could I address that?
Sure. And that's what I want you all to address. And I'm just telling you all what my issues are. And now I'll hear arguments from both sides and you all can address that. And if anybody wants to call somebody else as a witness to address that, you can.
I'll just close. In my close, I'll address those issues. So Judge, as you've become aware now, and with what's on the PSI, Anthony is a 56-year-old man. He's 2 years younger than me. He's a flawed man, like most of us. We all have details at different degrees. Mm-hmm. He's flawed in the sense of regulating his emotions. I think we feel after talking with the family and getting to know Anthony a little bit more, it kind of stems from his childhood with his mother. Not having a solid place for him to go. So he was moved and shuffled around. His sweet Uncle Joe that you met yesterday, he would try to step in a little bit. He has his own family and he was running his own air conditioning business. But when he could have Anthony over and he would spend some weekends and a few weeks sometimes when he was a child, he would take him out and do the kind of fatherly things that he has. I've raised 4 boys and I know how important a father is to boys. And if you're absent of that, it will cause some problems. Some guys stomach it up and put their bootstraps and become solid men, but not everybody.
But my question then would be, at what point, because I'm sure everyone has some trauma in their past.
Sure.
At what point do his actions become his own?
They're his actions, Judge. And I'm not throwing to the typical defense. Oh, it's because he had a troubled child.
Oh, no.
I'm just trying to, a lot of times when I take we've been practicing together for a long time, right? And as criminal practitioners, we sometimes we have some evil people that we address, and you see them in court all the time. And sometimes we have good people that just do some crazy things that they would not do. And a lot of times we're trying to figure out, why did this good person get to this point to do this? Mm-hmm. Because he's not somebody who's got a history of this has been a surprise, right, to his family, to his son, mm-hmm. to himself. And it's because he had a mental snap, because he doesn't have that foundation that a lot of us had by being raised by good family members and having a solid life and going to college and doing all that stuff. Not everybody has that life, right? And here's a guy who's been struggling himself, desperately wanting to have a family. He found it with Carrie. He's raising 2 boys. He's teaching them how to play baseball. He's one of those active fathers. There's a lot of fathers that have kids and they don't do nothing with them. He's active with them. He loves them. He's flawed now. He has an affair with some woman. She gets pregnant. She has 2 of his kids. He doesn't introduce that. That's a big flaw, but that's not what he's here for that. But this is all part of what's swimming around in his mind and in his heart. And he doesn't have the tools. This happens. The son, they're all mad, and they putting hands on each other on past things. He's already invited them. You want to do something? So this is already getting to the point of some possible violence. And then he's frustrated because he desperately wants his family to just accept the 2 girls, which is not a realistic thing, but in his childish kind of emotional way of thinking, I just want my family to be together because that's what he wants. So it comes from a good place, but how he is not able to regulate his emotions, he snapped. And he did something that he would have never done. If we would have thought that, oh, this is a self-defense case, this is not this is an imperfect self-defense case, and that's why we're pleading. He's taken responsibility. He knows that what he did was absolutely bonkers. I've seen him cry with snots coming out of his nose because of how deeply he feels that he's hurt his son. So now we're here, and this happens. And hats off to SAPD, Chief McManus, who was my captain when I was a police officer in DC. Chief McManus, they showed up to Anthony's house, and they were trying to make a decision with SWAT. Do we go in and grab this guy? And when Aunt Sarah came and they asked some questions and then they looked at his background, they figured out, okay, this is not one of them guys that we need to go in there, kick the door down, and possibly shoot. He's not somebody who's like a gang member. This is a good guy who's had a snafu. And let's just wait and we'll pick him up a few days later. So hats off for them for doing that. They don't do that in every case, but they did it in this case. Because he was telling them on the police report, shoot me. He had snapped. He knew that he had done something that he couldn't even believe that he did. He didn't even know where it came from. So finally, he gets arrested. We put him through therapy, the first therapy that he's ever had in his life. And just because he's in therapy doesn't mean that he's cured. This is going to take a long time, but he's learning the tools. His family starts to see that, he's changing. He's not like impulsively getting mad whenever he's being like a normal person. He's figuring things out. He knows that he had to make a change. And if you've read in the PSI when the probation officer asks him all these questions, it's the same thing that he said to them back then. He's saying it now. He knows that his wife Carrie is like the key holder to possibly having the other sons accept him back, or not ever like they used to be. They're never going to be the same family again, but to at least not alienate him so much. And so he foolishly, without my knowledge, because this was just popped on me yesterday morning, that he put a thing on there so that he could maybe run into her and try to talk with her which is foolish. But it's all with the reasoning that he's just trying to get his family back. I think that if you were to even give him a chance and you do it, you can customize this to actually maybe help him with his progression. He's progressing. Put strict no contact with Carrie too, even though she's not a complainant in this case. We're going to put it on Carrie, on Brandon, and on AJ. No contact, a zero tolerance. You even cough in the wrong direction, you are going to prison. Because right now he's building a relationship with his daughters, who he's just recontacted with in the last 3 years. Went to their quinces. He pays child support. He's got a good job. He's living alone and he's figuring his life out. I think that we sometimes, as criminal practitioners, we can help people achieve something, and it doesn't happen in every case, but it's really nice when we see people that we haven't seen that have been in the court system and they changed their life around, and it's nice to be a part of that. I think that we can have that happen in Anthony's case. His son is open to giving him a chance. He knows his father's never done anything like this. SAPD handled it the way that I think they should have, because they knew that he's not like an ongoing threat. I say, let's give him a chance. And that's our hope, that you can consider that. But whatever your decision is your decision, and we respect it.
Okay. And Mr. Blackburn, I want you to know, whenever you go to judges school, you know what they tell you? Don't say anything on the record. That's it. That's not me, right? And the reason why I say certain things is because it's happening mentally, and I want those issues to address. And I never want attorneys to leave without addressing an issue that I may have, to address my concerns. Because otherwise, it's sort of like when you have a jury trial and you do a closing argument to a jury, and you think, hey, this is what everybody should be concentrating on. And then when they come back with the verdict, you find out, no, the whole thing to them was about a blue shirt or something. So that's why I will always ask questions, because those are the things that I want addressed. So you're having an affair. That's not really going into the court's consideration. Oh, you should go to prison. Oh, you should not go to prison. That's just something for me to consider about everything that was going on that night, like why tempers were the way they were. So I just wanted you to know that. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And I'm hearing everything and listening to everything and listening to everybody's arguments. Okay. And I'm internalizing everything that everyone is saying, because I'm trying to understand how we're at this point now with regards to the charges against you. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am.
All right. If you want to say something, you're still under oath.
You know, I upset my son and my other son not wanting to, and my wife, and I'm sure she's gonna divorce me, and I said they don't want nothing to do with me no more now. If I could have a chance to raise my daughters, at least I'll walk that straight line, man. You'll never see me. I'll do whatever you require me to do. I've built a good life working. I'm a hard worker, man. I really am. I've done stupid things.
But see, here's the thing. My major concern with you
Yes, ma'am.
is, well, one of the concerns is putting the tracker on the vehicle after therapy. And what I can tell you, many times when relatives will come in and testify, and I can see that your son loves you, right? I don't think anybody thinks he doesn't love you.
Tremendous.
And I always tell loved ones and relatives who come testify, because they're always like, oh my gosh, did I say something wrong? Am I the reason this person is going to prison or not going to prison? And I would always tell them, no, you're just there to give information. So everyone is here to give information to me so I can make what I deem to be the best decision. And what I can tell you, what I'm grappling with you is, you know, that your wife, or soon to be ex-wife, that you're going through a divorce with, she doesn't want anything to do with you anymore. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it appears on that night, she didn't want anything to do with you. And if that would have been it, where she doesn't want anything to do with you, this happened, I hear all the evidence, and there's no tracker on her vehicle, then I would not be taking that into consideration as some of the evidence. But it appears there's issues with you with no contact. You understand?
I won't have any contact with him.
All right. And then do you have any questions of him?
No questions, but I may have a 2-minute.
Yes, I'll hear your argument.
I
object to
that.
Okay.
I understand and I appreciate the fact that it seems like the defendant has had a troubled life. And it's upsetting, but he's 56 years old. At some point, he needs to be responsible for his own actions. And I understand tempers were high that night, emotions were high that night. But to get to the point where he's going to fire a shotgun at his son, when all he could have done, step away, come back inside, or just called the police saying, I feel threatened by my son's presence here. I need help. Could have been a lot different. We wouldn't be here today. But to go forward with that shotgun blast and have it impact the vehicle where his son was at, 18 inches to 24 inches, like the son just said, if he was any closer, could have been a different story altogether. And then for him to enter a plea to this, go to therapy, which I appreciate, but despite that, trying to show you he's worthy of probation, after all that, he puts the tracker on the vehicle. Very concerning, very upset. Because of his actions that I think he's held accountable and responsible for,
state does not feel that he is an appropriate candidate for deferred, we would ask Your Honor to deny his application for all the cap and under 10 years.
Okay. All right. And how old are your daughters?
18 and the other one just turned 16 a couple of days ago.
All right. This is what, and mind you, I'm taking everything in consideration in my sentence. This is what the court is going to do. The court will find you guilty, sentence you to $1,500 fine, time and money will run concurrently. The court will sentence you to 3 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. There's to be no contact with Anthony Blackburn Jr. And what is the wife's name? I'm sorry, who?
Carrie Blackburn.
All right. Is that Kerry?
I believe it's something with C.
See?
Carrie Blackburn, Barrie.
All right. And so there's to be no contact with Kerry Blackburn and Anthony Blackburn Jr.
Also no contact with his brothers.
Well, the question is, does anyone know? And because the brother and sister, those are adults, right? Am I? All right. Are they asking for no contact? And what I can tell you, sir, is things may change. They may decide they want to have contact, but for now they're saying they don't want any contact. So I have to order no contact. And I'm gonna order the therapeutic community, and I will put for mental health. The therapeutic community, I don't have any jurisdiction to force you in to have them place you in the program. But if you ask for it, they'll see in the judgment that I put therapeutic community.
Speaking with his sister and brother, his sister Stephanie Blackburn does want to no contact order. Brother does not. So we will only ask that Your Honor enforce no contact order with Stephanie Blackburn as well.
All right, so it's Stephanie and no contact with Stephanie Blackburn. And the other person is okay with having contact?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Brandon wants to have contact. All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question about that, you'll need to speak with an attorney. What I can tell you is I listened to all the evidence. That is why I didn't sentence you to the full 10 years, because I know there's other things that were going on. Counsel. Yeah. That's fine. All right. All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. And he'll be over there and they give victim impact.
All right, friends, our final half hour of TCF Live. Good to have you all here. Some new friends this morning. Welcome to our new friends. Let's head a little bit east. We'll change it up a bit, go into Louisiana, see what's going on with the parole board today.
My name is Steve Prater. To my right is Danny Barra. To my left is Chuck Tillis. We're going to be handling all of the Committee on Parole cases today from headquarters in Baton Rouge, DOC headquarters, which is where we're located right now. We're the Committee on Parole, and in the room with us is some staff members that will be assisted with today's work, and they are
Sure.
Okay, and thank you, ladies, for your work. We appreciate that. First place we're going to is Assumption Parish Detention Center to talk about a revocation with Mr. Henri Batiste. If I'm saying that correctly, are you Mr. Batiste? Okay, would you speak up? You are Mr. Batiste?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. And what is your DOC number, sir?
552855.
Okay, and with the Assumption Parish Detention Center, you have staff in the room. Ma'am, would you introduce yourself, Deputy?
Deputy Darla Talbot.
Okay, thank you for hosting us today. We appreciate it. And Mr. Batiste, we have also a Zoom where your attorney is on the Zoom with us. Mr. Attorney, would you introduce yourself, please?
Good morning. Good morning, gentlemen. My name is Stavros Pentegalopoulos. I'm an attorney here on behalf of Mr. Batiste.
Okay, thank you. And sir, are you retained or appointed?
Retained, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. And all right. So we appreciate that. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. Mr. Batiste, when you have when you get out of jail, you sign these conditions of parole that you agree to. And when you violate or are suspected of violating some of those conditions of parole, then you come back before either your parole officer or us as a board if it's serious enough. And your case was deemed serious enough to where the probation parole officer wanted us to hear your case. And you're accused of violating just one condition, condition number 4, which says that you'll stay away from criminal activity and drugs and all of that sort of thing. And you're accused of having violated that. Your condition number 4 stems from the fact that you were arrested on January the 6th of 2025 and for obstruction of justice, possession of marijuana, and possession of CDS. You have a chance right now you can either plead guilty to that, you can plead innocent of that, and you have a chance to give us a statement. So how would you like to plead? And Mr. Attorney, feel free to chime in here anytime you'd like to, sir.
I like to plead not guilty. On it, sir, just through the fact of the matter, all the charges, I don't even have all the charges in the courthouse anymore right now as we speak. And that also to that, but also due to the fact of the matter that I also would like it to go y'all to view the body cam so y'all can see that it's any proof that anything came out my mouth, nor anything wasn't found on me, nor in a vehicle that I was driving at that time, sir.
Okay.
So specifically, if I might address points, both the technical points first, and then separately with regards to the factual argument. With regards to the technical alleged violations for failure to immediately enroll and cooperate with parole upon his initial release, Mr. Batiste is a young man. Did not follow the paperwork properly, but had no intention of failure to comply. Understanding that there is still a failure to comply as a result, that we would suggest that a technical violation of 15 or 30 days would be appropriate rather than a full revocation, given the fact that he had no other violations with the exception of the alleged arrest that is still pending in Assumption Parish, which has not been pled guilty to, and Mr. Batiste is fighting for because reasons as provided in the police report and in the evidence. We're talking about an allegation of him allegedly possessing 1.55 grams of alleged narcotics material. 1.55 grams. So an amount alleged almost nothing, a trace amount that arguably could. As we have argued, is a question whether or not it's actually a detected amount in the items that are possessed by Mr. Batiste versus it being something that might have been a contaminant in the testing machinery, given the extremely small amount under the circumstances. Beyond that, the fact that there's a question regarding proper procedure and probable cause with the course of the pending case in Assumption Parish, if we would believe that there's not sufficient probable cause for purposes of putting forward for a violation. If the board is so inclined, then we would suggest tabling the matter and allowing it to be revisited once it has been dealt with in court, because then that would address the issue one way or the other.
Okay, and I assume, I'm sure you understand this, but we deal with a preponderance of evidence on parole applications and not the probable cause. So I take to heart everything that you said, and it does matter what you said, but I just wanted to make sure you understood that we don't have to necessarily wait on crime labs and things like that to get the probable cause if we feel in our hearts that there's a preponderance. Mr. Batiste, I'm concerned that you're on parole for racketeering and distribution of cocaine, and you're a third-class offender, and you're hanging around a car wash. And now I can say that, listen to me, I can say that because I know what goes on at some car washes. I'm not saying this one, and I'm not saying that was going on, but I know car washes quite often are a distribution point for illegal narcotics. So it doesn't look good. If I was a third-class offender and I was on parole for racketeering and distribution of cocaine, you couldn't get me near a car wash. Yes, sir, you go ahead. That was just fatherly advice, okay? But you can respond.
So, where I was at, I'm not even from that part of town, and I was coming from somewhere getting my car clean, and I was washing my car, and just so happened that a detective had ended up swinging on him and searching other people around in that area. And while they were getting searched down, while I was getting done cleaning my vehicle, I ended up leaving from the area, but I was pulled over on side of the road like 5 minutes later due to what happened. Well, the police report also said that it was that, but it said that it was a traffic violation when I wasn't even charged with any traffic tickets at all also. So, like, I'm just saying, I just hope y'all go off of factual evidence instead of what he says, he say, whatever what the case scenario is, and just go off of the camera footage instead of going off of that, because it said two different things. It said that marijuana was smelled coming out my vehicle, around my vehicle, and the whole time that if that would have been the case, everybody at that car wash would have never got shook down. It just would have been me from the jump. They wouldn't have to take me for the pull off and me get pulled on side the road 5 minutes later on the highway. No, it wouldn't say that it was a traffic violation as well, you know. So I'm just hoping that y'all go off for factual evidence and the body camera, the body footage camera instead of just, you know.
Yes, sir, I understand, and that's a reasonable thing to say. It's a reasonable thing to say. And you've been on parole since December of 2019, correct?
Yes, sir, and I ain't never been in trouble ever since that. I was working it. I actually was about to be getting off of parole due to good behavior. I just was about to be getting off, and that ended up happening, me going to that car wash when that accident happened.
Now, didn't you said you hadn't been in trouble. Didn't you get into a little snafu back in 2023?
Yeah, that was but all them charges were dropped due to the fact of the matter that, see, I was going in and out of the psych ward, and I had a problem going on at the house, and I was showing the police also what had happened, and by me showing the police what happened, he had arrested me, saying that, in other words, he was saying I wasn't supposed to touch him at all. In other words,
yeah, sure.
That was a misunderstanding.
But you ended up serving some time for it, didn't you?
No, I ended up being locked up for like a little over half a year, and I was released it because they went over what actually had happened with that.
Okay, well, I just didn't want you to think that we buy into the fact that you hadn't been in trouble since 2019. Because in fact, one time. And so, let's see.
What was the traffic violation that you were stopped for?
I didn't have, they said it was a traffic violation, but I didn't never had received any traffic on charges.
But they said, did he tell you why he was stopping you?
No, sir.
Okay, all right.
Okay, Mr. Laura, would you?
Have any questions? I think I'm okay, continue.
Okay, that's what Mr. Barra is writing, okay, you made the motion, so that's what he, right, then you got a motion to continue.
A second.
Okay, got a motion and a second to continue, and that's what it takes, 2 votes to continue. Mr. Attorney, do you have anything to say, or would that satisfy you?
Yeah, that satisfies us, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, well, my vote then is to concur with that. So we have 3 people that have voted today, and we have voted to continue your case until the outcome of the charges. And I want to caution you again, don't be around a bunch of people like that. You're on parole and you're looking at some bunch of time, and maybe your attorney can reinforce what I'm saying to you if he chooses to, but you got to avoid the preponderance, or you got to avoid any kind of impropriety, okay? Even the appearance of impropriety. So anyway, by a vote of 3, we have continued this revocation hearing. The time is 8:53 in the morning, end of hearing.
Alrighty, friends. Good morning once again. We got about 15 or so minutes to go here on TCF Live. We're going to go to Judge O'Donnell's court in just a moment for Women of Lake County Behaving Badly, Part 3. But before we did, I wanted to remind those of you who have been around, plus alert our new friends for In the Blind with Mike and Dan tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. That is a separate channel. If you stick around at the end of this stream, YouTube will send you over there, and undoubtedly Barbara will put a link in the chat as well. But that is completely different from what we do here. It's not courtroom related necessarily, though sometimes we talk legal stuff. But the shtick is that me and Michael Groff, who is a contributor to this channel as well as a great YouTuber on his own, he and I have no idea what we're going to talk about until the show starts and the topics are presented to us. That is one of the reasons why we call it In the Blind. It's a lot of fun. Definitely stick around after the 2 topics that we cover. We do a true-false round, which is hilarious, and you always learn something. So do join us for that. Okie dokie, let's go to Lake County and Judge O'Donnell. This will probably be enough to finish off our day, but we shall see.
Seated. 25-722, Star Wilson, violation of community control, final hearing violation. April 8, negatively discharged from jail treatment program. You understand that charge?
Yes, sir.
What?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Langmack?
Thank you, Your Honor. It is our intention to waive the final hearing, and she'll be guilty to the violation.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
What's your plea to the violation?
Yes, sir. Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea and find you guilty. What's the problem?
I don't even know where to begin.
Start at the beginning.
So they put a keep separate of mine that was in the jail and JTP with me. When the JTP person, Miss Lauren, asked me if it was okay to put her in the pod with me, I told her, I was like, look, this girl really doesn't like me. Like, she harassed me in one of the pods. I was like, this is not gonna go well. I had a feeling, and I told her it wasn't gonna go well. She put her in the pod with me anyways. And within 2 days of being in the pod with me, she didn't get to go to church for some reason. She felt like that was my fault because she had to keep separate with somebody else, and I'm the only other keep separate she had that she thought she knew of, whatever. she found out that I knew who her keep separate was and started going off on me and calling me a bunch of names. Well, she did this in front of the COs, and the CO told me, hey, like when I leave the pod, if this happens, just lock it down, tell the tower. Okay, so he leaves the pod. I'm in a conversation with one of the other JTP ladies that's in the pod with me, and we're talking, and then this girl starts jumping in. She's like, you fat ass bitch, you this, you broke bitch, da da da, starts dogging me and like calling me all sorts of out of my name. So I get up, I was like, excuse me, went to my cell, I locked down, I called the tower, I was like, hey, this is happening. And that's what CO Taylor told me to do. I did that. They kicked us both out of JTP, but I guess didn't kick her out of JTP till 2 weeks later after I complained about it 3 times, because in the amendment paper that you signed to amend your keep separates or whatever for JTP, it says that both parties are supposed to be kicked out. They only kicked me out. And she specifically said, I know that you've already got 2 strikes starting JTP, like you're not about to be in this fucking pod with me, da 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 da. Started going off, and that's how she started going off on me. So I tried to kite the man that's over JTP, Mr. Jamie, and tell him like, hey, like this girl knew that I was already in trouble starting JTP and purposely tried to get me kicked out. Like I didn't engage with her, like why am I being kicked out? And yeah, I let it go after that because nobody wanted to talk to me about it, so.
Now what?
I was hoping you'd let me go to treatment or take care of my stuff in Cuyahoga County to see if we can't get them on board with what we're doing in Lake County. Because I've been in here 140 something days now, sir. And my mental health is decreasing so bad. You can't get therapy in jail. Don't get no counseling. My temper is getting worse. And I'm literally barely holding myself together. It's taking everything for me not to spaz out. I'm not used to being around females, nor am I used to being around this many people on a daily basis.
Why is it that you got so many, leading up to your sentencing date of March 12th, so many infractions in the jail?
I don't know, honestly. I feel like it's being more towards, like I said, you can't get therapy in jail, and I don't like being around people like that because I'm just not a people person. I don't get along with people. I stay to myself, especially when I'm outside of jail. I do not run in crowds. I feel like it's easier to be locked down. So I don't know. I feel like that's one of my reasons that I get locked down so much. It's easier to be in my cell and away from people than to be around people and spaz
Well, what's
out.
the purpose of the jail treatment program?
To get treatment. But it's not counseling, sir. You don't talk to somebody one-on-one. You're doing packets all day, every day. And talking in a group. It's not like you can talk one-on-one with somebody and actually get counseling. There's just a big difference. It's not helping me.
Is the Cuyahoga warrant for not being at the arraignment? Dave, do you know?
Yes, sir. I didn't have a ride out there.
Where do you live?
Currently in East Cleveland. I didn't move out there till like a week before getting arrested, though. They got me in Ashtabula trying to move my stuff back out to East Cleveland.
Why did you move to East Cleveland?
To get away from Ashtabula.
Well,
I know everybody in Ashtabula, and that's just not a place for me to be. If I had the money, I would have went back home and moved out of state. But that wasn't really a choice. Plus,
All right,
I had the
mean-
warrants, and eventually I planned on turning myself in. I was just too scared to do it, and it caught up with me.
Well, you think that East Cleveland is better than Ashtabula?
No, but at the same time, I don't know anybody out in East Cleveland like that.
Well,
I
they'll
know my
find you.
boss.
They'll find you right quick. You'll find them right quick. All you gotta do is step outside on Euclid Avenue.
I understand that. My thing is I guess I got involved in Ashtabula due to my family being who it is, and just hanging out with the people that they were hanging out with, and it wasn't what I thought it was. I moved up here to Ohio to be around what was left of my family because I grew up in foster care. I didn't have nobody. So when I turned 18, they just kind of put me on the street. It was like, here you go. Didn't know where to go, didn't know where my family was. Found out that my father had passed away. And my older brother wanted nothing to do with me. So I had an aunt and a cousin out in Ashtabula. I bought a bus ticket, moved out to Ashtabula. And that was from Arkansas. So when I got to Ashtabula, I did not know this part of my family. I hadn't seen them since my mother's funeral back in 2012. So it's not family that was like, around for the most part. It's people I've seen like maybe once every 6-7 years. I get up here and my cousin and aunt, who I thought were like good people, are definitely not. Okay, they're spun out on a bunch of different shit and I got involved in it. I've lived this way my whole life and I didn't know anything different. I've never really had this issue, and it's definitely becoming a big issue, and I'm learning from that. But I don't want to spend my life in jail. I really did plan on turning myself in, but this is my first offense. I've never been to jail like this.
They have a holder on her.
You do.
Are they actually gonna come get her when she's available?
I'm assuming since it's a felony, they'll come get her. So,
The other 3 girls that were in here from Cuyahoga, they got picked up within 72 hours.
All right, I'm gonna keep you on community control. And, I'm gonna sentence you to 140 days in jail with credit for 132. Now, Dave, make sure that the SO contacts Cuyahoga. They can pick her up immediately. You're gonna go take care of this in Cuyahoga, and then you're gonna come back here, and we're gonna figure out the rest of your terms of community control.
Yes, sir.
So once you come back in here, then we'll figure out what exactly it is you're gonna do to address the problems that you have.
We secured a bed at New Day.
Well, you can't do anything, you couldn't do anything before with regard to Whitehaven or Nora because of this warrant.
Right.
So let's get that taken care of, come back here and then figure out what we're gonna do. So if Dave, if there's some sort of problem with that, then let me know right away, because I'm certainly not gonna let you walk out the door in 8 more days.
That's understandable.
Anything else?
anything else, Your Honor?
Dave, just let me know whatever happens with your.
I will. I'll make some phone calls and I'll get back to you.
All right.
Alrighty, friends, that will do it for this morning's show. I hope you all had fun. I did. Some good hearings today. We made some new friends. What more could you want? We'll again be back tonight over at In the Blind with Mike and Dan. Again, stick around at the end of this stream. YouTube will send you over there so you can set a reminder. That's 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. that is a new show for Mike and I, and we need to grow that channel, so we need everybody's help. So if you could subscribe to that channel, join us for the show, we'd very much appreciate that. And of course, we'll be back tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific, right here. If you're a channel member, you can show up a half an hour early for the pre-show, and then we'll be posting videos throughout the day here on this channel as well. So this was fun. Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you all tonight, and then again tomorrow morning. Take care. God bless.